Hello and welcome to another episode of My Opinion Means Nothing. This week on the show, I am here with Yossi. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. You remember my name?
Yeah, of course.
Sick. I was like, am I going to forget? I'm well, Corey. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, man.
Good stuff, man.
What it was is I was going to say the surname, but Goldlink is...
Goodlink.
Goodlink.
Goodlink, yeah, Goodlink.
Goldlink is an artist.
Yes, he is. Is he any good?
He's a dope singer, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's got like
I don't know much of stuff.
Can't think of what it is. It's kind of like a jazzy hip hop type of
Nice.
style he's got. It's nice. So I have had this conversation with you before because we've been chilling for a while now.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We've been having some very interesting conversations. I'm like holding back. I don't just want to. I've got a million. Yeah, we could verbal spill, but.
But just for the podcast basis, how's your day been?
My day's been really nice today. My day's been great. I resigned from my job before we broke up for summer on Tuesday.
Oh, jeez.
And I've been working I've been doing crazy amounts of things. I've been really busy, which I love. I'm always busy, but it's been real nice to not have to do my 9 to 5 working in a secondary school.
Yeah. Cool.
So and today I went berry picking with my friend this morning. There's like a pick your own farm near us.
That's it.
And we went and picked some fruit, and then I've just been chilling, seeing some friends. We played a bit of football in the park in the thunderstorm, and then I came and met you.
Yeah, man.
And now we're here and we've been having a great chat for about a couple of hours now.
Yeah,
We've been having a really good chat, getting to know each other, which has been a
great.
real pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
So, no, it's been great. How's your day been?
My
you was
day,
at work too, innit? No, I wasn't working. You was working
Yeah,
today.
I was working 9 to 5 on that grind.
Come on.
I started work. I didn't get there on time this morning. I'm not gonna lie.
Standard. Cool, man. It's fine.
I was fully trying, but
Even though they've given you the later start time, you were still late.
hey man, don't question it. It was just
This
hard.
guy tells me, imagine, can I tell the story? This guy tells me basically his work was given, like, he's meant to be doing a 9 to 5, and they've basically called him in and been like, listen, Corey, what time do you think I'm going to start? He's like, 9. Is that a reasonable time to start? Yeah, they're like, listen, we think it's okay that 9:30 is a reasonable time, so then you might actually be on time. My man's still late. Sorry, fam. Oh, I got you. Come on.
It's so true.
Sorry.
That's what happened. No, everyone tells this story. Like I told it to one of my friends.
Has it been on the podcast before?
No, not been on
okay.
the podcast, but I told it to one of my friends, yeah, and she was like, every person that she meets, she tells them about this when she's introducing me. She's like, yeah, Corey's like, he's so chilled at his work. Like, they allowed
He's got his own start time.
They negotiated the start time. I was like, yeah, man.
That is awesome.
I get my work done, you know.
That's the way it should be.
I go into work, even
Bang
if
it
I am
out.
late, and I just bang out work
Bang
until
it
I
out.
finish.
Come on.
Like I'm literally, I work so hard, and I'm there and I'm so quiet because I just listen to my music if I'm just not answering phones.
Oh, that's blessed.
So
I had a job where you could listen to headphones. That's a chill job. If you can listen to headphones at work,
you know,
whatever, unless you're doing something particularly strenuous, that's a pretty decent.
I'm just like
it's a
inputting
nice
stuff on the
little-
computer, so it's
That's
calm,
always banging. Yeah.
You know?
Especially, can you write as well? Can you write?
Yeah.
Bang it. Oh, bang
I'm
it.
posting on Insta. I'm typing. I'm putting posts
There's
out,
certain
yeah.
jobs where you can do that. Certain ones where you can't.
Well, because of the work rate I do it at.
Yeah.
I bang out stuff.
Like,
so
even- yeah,
I
yeah.
know I have the time. For me, I know that I can get this work done, so I'll get it worked.
That was one of the things that was frustrating about being at the school. Like
Yeah.
there was a big team. I was working as a learning support assistant, LSA, basically a teaching assistant. Although supposedly you're there to help the kids access the learning, help kids with certain needs, whatever, access the learning, and help all the other kids, as opposed to help the teacher teach. So it's a slightly different role, but it's basically the same thing. Loads of different bloody acronyms. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acronym.
Acronyms. And acronyms is something else. That's from an Only Fools and Horses episode where Delboy gets them too confused. Yeah, they're all just different acronyms, but they've got a big workforce of LSAs and LSAs,
What?
learning support assistants.
So it's like kind of like a teaching.
Teaching assistant, yeah. It's a teaching assistant that's there to help certain kids access the learning. And they've got a big team, maybe 25 of us in the school. And I spend out of my 8-hour day, I might spend like an hour doing productive work, and the rest of the time I'm sitting in a class where I'm not really needed, or there's 2 of us in the class that one person could easily be doing that work. But it's because we're employed on the timetables of fulfilling what kids have got, what EHCPs and how much time they've got. And like, so it's not really, it's not working towards everyone's needs. And that was just one thing that's frustrating. So with that job, for example, I got in trouble for reading. Like, this part of the reason I left, it became a whole big thing, innit?
Yeah.
but like, and there were a few little instances they didn't like, and I was quite outspoken about my views for how we could improve things and how they were done. And obviously they don't want to hear that at secondary school. They're very old. So, but like one of the things I got in trouble for was reading while the kids were doing origami in art class. And like the kid I was working with was just getting on with the origami, like, and like I tried to help him do it to a slightly better standard, but he was getting very, very upset by me being there when everyone else was doing it, and it's a simple thing that everyone can get on with and he could get on with.
Yeah.
So I went over and I read my book on the other side of the class because I didn't feel the need to stand. But I should have just stood there looking over them, trying to look oppressive, essentially. Should have been there asserting authority so that they wouldn't talk. But they were just getting on with their work, and I got in trouble for reading a book. Like, that's our education system right now. Sorry, I went off topic.
No, it's cool, man.
You was just introducing this stuff, talking about your job and that.
No, I just wanted to also add, guys, every other day this week I have been early. Or
Jeez,
on time.
come on.
Okay, it's just today and maybe one
That's
other
alright,
day.
it's Friday, man,
Yeah,
it's fine.
exactly. And yeah, but that is something to, like, because you worked in education, I work for the NHS, and
Isn't it something that goes across all those government services in some way?
bro,
Because my dad works in the NHS, and like when I come home talking about all this shit going on at work, he's like, mate, that's what it is, working in an organisation like that.
bro, I don't think people understand. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but like NHS is like
Talk, bro. Tell us about the NHS.
It's slightly a mess. Like,
Yeah.
for me, what it feels like it's like we've bought into a system for the NHS, because I know they have to buy some sort of, I don't know the proper ins and outs, but I know every certain years they have to buy into something that they're going to use progressively for the next
You mean
couple
buying
of
something
years.
they're going to use from the pharmaceutical companies?
Like a plan or something.
Oh,
that
right,
they're
okay,
gonna use
right.
for the next couple of years.
Right.
But they buy the service from someone else, so the
Okay.
idea of or something like that. Obviously, my opinion means nothing. Don't quote me on that shit.
Come on. That's what I was so excited about this podcast. No one can hold nothing against you.
But
Go on.
there's something like that. But it's like, for me, it just feels like we're not meeting public demands. The waiting lists are ridiculous.
I've experienced that as a patient,
And-
a
and-
couple times,
but
yeah.
Being on the other side and hearing people's concerns, do you know how upsetting it is? Like, what month are we in? July. Do you know how upsetting it is telling the patient that the next available appointment isn't until like October?
Do you want to deep it? Like, you've got people who've got like clinical depression who can't get an appointment for months, and then they get 1.5 hour appointment every couple of months, and they get a ton of drugs to last them in between.
Yeah, that's exactly what these.
And it's all funded by the pharmaceutical industries.
Yeah.
They're the one putting the drugs into it. The doctors not having any time because all the money is just profits going back to making more drugs and stuff. I mean, I don't want to deep it, but it's a bit early on to get into all that. But
Well, it's not, and
But-
it is and it
like,
isn't.
but isn't that the most shocking thing when you've got
Yeah.
people who are like on the verge of suicide, and you have to like, this is what I've heard from a few people in that system all across the country. Some friend up in Edinburgh who's experienced around the country, different people. You have to try to kill yourself a couple of times before they'll really see you regularly. It's but that's not because the service isn't good. Don't get it twisted.
It's 'cause the
Millions
money's
of great
not there.
people working in that service,
the money's
but
not
they ain't
there.
got the time.
They
They've
have-
got to see so many people. It's not their fault.
But
Like,
it's because
so many
probably
great
the
individuals.
Money, the money is not. We're not funding the NHS.
Yeah.
They're taking money out of the budgets in different areas, and
And,
this is where the problem's coming from. So you're cutting money out of this department. So we now need to cut a service. So I'm saying, I'm working in dental.
Right.
So when I first started a year ago, a couple of years ago in dental, they had a service where they used to go home and see patients at home and in care homes. They had a
right, yeah,
specific,
I remember that being a thing.
they had a specific service that they used to do that in dental, but now,
But it's not a thing
because of
anymore.
all the cuts and everything, they've had to cut that service out. So now they do domiciliary visits as and when it can fit into the diary. So it has to be like an hour and a half booking.
Can you say that word again, please?
Domiciliary.
Domiciliary. I haven't heard that one before. Domiciliary. What does it mean exactly?
means
I got it from the
like,
context. But...
Like home visits or.
Okay, cool. Yeah, two ones domestics. Vacation. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about Latin. It's so interesting
Oh,
how it
yeah.
all comes from that.
Oh,
Like,
is it?
all, you know what I mean? All our
Yeah,
language.
language, yeah.
That's why it all makes sense.
So yeah, we used to have loads of those domiciliary appointments. Now we have to book them in, but it's like it has to be like an hour and a half slot. So say for example, there's loads of other, and a normal appointment is 30 minutes. So
Right.
say for example, there's loads of other 30 minutes appointments booked in.
Why does it have to be an hour and a half slot?
because it's a home visit
So
service.
it's in just the time it takes to get there and do it and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But so is that why you can't book them in anymore?
I
Or-
can book them in,
but-
but I have to find a slot where it fits.
And it's impossible to
and
do
it
that.
has to be in a specific time. It has to be either first thing in the morning or first thing in the afternoon.
And there's so many people that there's just no appointments. Yeah.
And not even that, there's no appointments. People have booked 30-minute slots, so they might have booked from maybe 1:30, and 1:30 is where lunchtime starts from again. So they might have booked from 1:30. So then if you've already booked from 1:30, then I can't
So
book
what
a
do you
domiciliary
think-
appointment
so
there.
what do you
If you've already
think-
booked from the morning, I can't book appointment in the
Yeah.
morning there, you know what I mean?
Totally, and that's like again, it's a totally different problem. But it's something I saw in the school system. Something I think many people who work in sort of government funded organisations probably experience. Especially, there's a word. Where is it? Big companies, like not corporations,
Yeah.
but like big kind of hierarchically run organisations like the NHS, like the school system. It's gone. It's gone. No, it's not. It's not. What is the root of the fact that all those systems are like in so many ways flawed? Like whether it is in like a simple kind of communication issue, like in your example, you'd think like nowadays with the technology we have, there'd be a really simple way of working around that. I bet you thought of a way to work around that issue, right?
There's no. I can't see a way.
Oh,
how
well,
you can
with
work
the amount of
around
people.
the waiting list, because it's crazy. We get so many referrals every single day,
Right.
from post and email, you know,
Yeah.
and from fax still. We're not even meant to be faxing on the NHS. People are still faxing. Do you know what's really crazy for me?
Blimey.
Some places, some fucking NHS dental or doctor surgery do not use email.
What?
They do not use email.
What? Just phone and fax?
Phone and fax and post.
I didn't know fax was still a thing.
Nor did I until
My little sister doesn't know the post is a thing.
Nor did I until I was saying to someone what you need to do, the best way you need to get for us to get a referral is for you to email us, because there's at least a tracking. Because if you post it, we've had a lot of instances where referrals get lost in the post, and if you say you sent it, we haven't received
Yeah.
it. There's not much we can do other than you resend it, you know.
There's so much.
That's what's delaying the list, because people are like,
Yeah.
we've sent a referral.
That's
but we
just
haven't
ridiculous.
received it.
That's crazy. I can't believe that.
So
They're not an email yet.
No,
It's 2018 and they're not an email. Like I think all this technology is a bit crazy, but
you know,
but everyone's on email. My granddad was on email 5 years ago.
You know?
Like
that's it's
Bless him,
madness.
he's not gonna say more,
I'm
but-
just like, you don't use email. Like
Right.
we just post. And I was like,
but then
Okay.
on the other hand, there's some stuff like congestion charge. If you ain't got a computer or a phone, how are you paying that?
yeah.
Like, or I mean, there's lots of things now. If you haven't got a computer, you can't partake. Some things, even if you haven't got a smartphone, you can't partake. And that I think that's just terrible, shocking for old people. Like for anyone, it's just if you don't want to be connected onto that grid, there's a lot of things that you actually lose out on.
But I read a report or an article about how we're now so contactless. We use contactless way more than we use cash now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no one carries cash anymore because you got your card all the time.
Yeah.
But sorry, that quick. Like, so what is the flaw? Because like in the education system when I was working, like every industry I've worked in, see, like there's loads of different flaws like that.
In
and
the
like
public system, I
it's
think
the hierarchical. It's the hierarchical setup, isn't it?
100% that, and the funding. Because
The funding in the
because
in the
they're
public
so
sector, it's the funding.
It means that the people at the top can
Right,
just
but
piss
so but here's the
around.
thing. Here's the thing. To deep it, why is there a lack of? There shouldn't be a lack of funding when you look at the amount the pharmaceutical industry and the weapons industry make, and the amount we spend on all. If you look at the amount we spend on stuff we don't need, there should not be any issues funding simple stuff like the NHS and the school system. So if you deep it, why is that money not coming into those systems? And the result of the money not coming into those systems is that everyone in those systems is under immense pressure to fulfill their role to the hierarchy above them. Yeah. So like even the bosses in schools, like the high up people, they're good people, they care, but they're drilled, they have to just fulfill the quotas or they'll lose their job.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And everyone's under that pressure with the lack of funding.
Yeah.
But there shouldn't be a lack of funding. So when you deep it, what's going on with all that money? Like,
we need to speak to the
well,
government.
we know what's going on with all that. We kind of know.
It's crazy.
We kind of know, but we don't. You know,
Yeah.
them ones like we have our suspicions, obviously, and we kind of do know about some stuff. Like we know the amount they spend on weapons, like that's published in pretty reliable sources and stuff like that, and the amount that I don't know, like what's the underwater submarines, like military submarines, cost some dumb amount, and the amount we spend on wars and oil could fund the NHS like a piece of piss.
Yeah, of course.
But it's priorities. And the audacity that they have when they're like, can you sponsor £1 towards this £1 million air ambulance because a whole county hasn't got an air ambulance, but we're doing what? What? You're asking me to donate £1 to get £1 million air ambulance? You know what Boris Johnson spent on like some crap the other day? Like, do you know what I mean?
It doesn't make any
mad.
sense. It's where are the priorities of the government, and why is it not on the things? Do you know, like, stuff like we don't even own Royal Mail anymore?
What? No, I didn't know that.
Did you know that
I'm not-
private
I'm
company?
not surprised,
Private
but-
company owns Royal Mail.
And aren't they selling the police force at the moment? Like what? It's so dystopian. A lot of the things that's going on at the moment is very dystopian in many ways.
It's crazy. It's like how they don't want to be called Royal Mail anymore because obviously
Because they're not the Royal Mail.
They don't
Really?
know.
I didn't. Is this something that's been going on in the news?
yeah
I haven't been following, but wow.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised though.
It's crazy.
I'm not
It's like
surprised.
just the government are just selling everything.
Hey, positive story because there's so much crap
I have
in the
got
news.
positive
Oh, cool.
in my news.
Quick anecdote, if that's alright.
Of course, bro.
Well, no, my godmother lives in a beautiful place in Devon called Totnes,
Yeah.
and they were about to build a Costa there, and it was going to be they've got a few independent coffee shops that have been there a long time, and everyone in the village petitioned, and they didn't get a Costa. And they won the petition against Costa, and Costa did not build a Costa in this village. So the independent coffee shops kept their business and kept running.
Fair enough.
And that was a couple of years ago now, but so it's not always big business winning.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
There's little victories. There's a oh yeah. What's a king to a mob though? What's a mob to a king?
Yeah. So first segment in the show
Dun dun dun.
is what's happening in the world.
Oh
And,
god. What is it?
I don't know what to start with. What was this?
I'm excited to hear whatever we're gonna start with.
I'm going to start with. Let's start with a somewhat positive article about the government.
Okay, sounds good.
So you know, there's a housing crisis at the moment.
There's been a housing crisis for a while, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I saw this article today in the Independent. It says about the government. The title says housing crisis. Government gets behind community homes with a £163 million fund.
Government gets behind community homes with £153 million, £63 million fund.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
No.
brilliant. Where is that definitely happening? Where am I? Like,
So,
that
yeah,
sounds
that's
that sounds
100%
really
happening.
positive. Is that today's news.
It's
And what date is it today we're recording this? Because people will be listening to this next week, aren't they?
Friday the 27th. So
Friday
they'll be
27th.
listening to it next week. They'll be
That's recent,
Thursday,
man.
yeah, that's recent for now. Yeah.
That's very recent.
So basically, there's this guy called John Blackie.
John Blackie.
Yeah, and he wanted to start building houses, but obviously it wasn't by choice. It's just by the fact that there are lack of affordable housing for anyone to move into,
Totally.
especially young people.
Yeah.
So he started. He started like some sort of village, community.
Where was this?
It is
kind of-
in the Yorkshire Dales.
Nice. Okay.
So
yeah.
they've got some sort of. It says like last year the residents stepped in because the petrol station was going to be going out of business,
Right.
and the residents stepped in and they helped save the petrol station.
And is that what began the whole community housing project that's led to the government giving them all that funding?
Well,
Is
the
that-
reason,
that
the
connected?
main reason is because at this moment in time, there's a school near. It's called Arkengatherdale Primary School, which
Okay.
celebrated 350 years in 2009.
Wow.
But they only
That's a
have.
vintage primary school
Yeah.
right there, isn't it?
But because of the lack of affordable housing, so everyone who lives there and who probably want to take their kids there, they don't live in the area because there's no affordable housing on there.
Yeah.
There's only 14 children in that school.
What?
So,
My.
so that's the main
And
reason.
it's not a private school.
No.
It's a state's primary with 14 kids.
Yeah.
Must have like two teachers, one teacher.
Yeah.
But they've got a whole school building. They've got the capacity to have like a couple of hundred kids or whatever.
Yeah, but they've only got 14 children.
Because no one can live in the area because
Yeah.
it's too expensive.
Yeah.
What? So are there like loads of empty houses in the area,
Not
or
empty houses,
it's just rich
it's
people
just
without
rich people
kids?
without kids, yeah.
Rah. So people and no one can trek far enough.
Yeah.
There aren't loads of kids. Yeah. Wow.
It says,
That's ridiculous. I'm sure there's many things like that going on. Do you know what I mean? Little bits
Yeah.
like that is being wasted, and then there's so many schools that are oversubscribed, and yeah.
But basically, I think it was the National Community Land community-led housing network, basically. That's who's received the fund. Is that the government are creating? The
government set up a fund for a community-led housing project.
Yeah. So
Wow.
They're starting a community housing fund.
Mate, that sounds incredible.
So that's what they've invested the 163
I wonder.
million into.
I don't want to be skeptical. Well, I hope not. I wonder how much some big property company is going to take out of that, though. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I worry that with a lot of projects like that. Well, no, I mean, hopefully it's in the hands of the right people, but do you know what I mean? They're going to have to employ someone's going to get paid a lot. Property is such a big industry, of course.
What I understand.
Hopefully none of that money goes more in the hands of the people doing it than it should, and the money goes to creating affordable housing.
Yeah, that's what I think. If you have to have, I think the problem is a lot of people who want to make community houses at the moment, the problem is they don't have the money for the planning permissions and everything like that, whereas private people, they can just fund it like that.
For sure.
So the community fund is meant to help.
Yeah, it's rare. I haven't heard of a community. It sounds quite unusual. I haven't heard of
a community. The community
housing
housing fund is basically, so if you're trying to start a community housing that's basically meant to be affordable housing for your community, then you should be able to get money from this fund to help pay for any planning permissions or.
So is this a fund? So they've just set up this fund for that in that area.
No, it's not.
It's UK wise, country
UK wise, yeah.
But it's starting in that area, kind of.
But that's what this article is basically.
That's a reference to that. But so it's something that anyone can apply for, or like not anyone obviously, but if you've got a project and you've got a community and you wanted to create a social housing project, you can apply for it.
From what I understand.
Would that apply to the same as like if you wanted to sort of set up a community living kind of place, like a small community living, for example, like try and find like a big old mansion that's not being used or something, or a big house, doesn't need to be a mansion, but convert it into many rooms and have a community where everyone community cooks and looks after the place and stuff.
I mean, maybe you probably have to look it up properly on .gov, but from
what would people search if people want to research it?
If you wanted to research
the article?
This article, you can just look up community housing fund.
Okay.
So that's what the government is starting up. But I thought it was
sounds fantastic.
It sounds
come on,
amazing, right?
It's at the end of Russell Howe's good news. Start with it at the beginning though. Come on.
Where is my notepad? Oh, here it is. Right. What else is there? Oh, my days. When I read this.
What?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how like black cabs and Ubers are having all this beef about how they don't want Ubers to be about?
Didn't they lose their license and get it? They said it was going to go in 2 years. Haven't they got it back?
They won the.
It's not going to go anymore, is it?
Yeah, they won.
They're staying in London, right?
They're staying, but apparently.
So they didn't go at any point. They were many, but they didn't.
Obviously, what happened was they lost their TfL didn't renew the license, and then they were meant to stop licensing, but then Uber appealed it, so that meant they could still run until 2020 anyway. So in that time, they just fixed up everything they needed to fix up, then went to court, and they won.
It's a useful service though, I suppose.
Exactly.
I can't use it. The app never works for me, like, it's bugged out.
But basically, so the title reads, Black Cab Driver drags unconscious passenger from the cab, dumps him in the middle of the road, and it was caught on CCTV.
Black cab driver dumps unconscious passenger in the middle of the road.
And it was all caught on CCTV.
What? Like in the middle, like not on a pavement, like in the road.
I'll show you the video.
That's a ridiculous title. You talk about like a gripping title, a hook title.
Bruv. Why are you doing this? How do I...
Gotta be careful nowadays, isn't there? Some nuts people about. Always have been, I suppose, but... yeah.
Oh, there you go. Right. I'm not sure. Oh, there's no audio.
So jealous of your half-decent laptop.
There's no audio, but...
Oh, no audio.
This is the cab driver.
Yeah. Oh, no. Right in the centre. He
takes him out the road, in the middle of the road, drags him, literally.
Oh, he's going towards the pavement. No, he's just leaving him behind the car.
Yeah.
He's not going to run him over though. He's going to drive forward, right?
Yeah.
But oh my days.
Yeah.
Poor guy. What?
Yeah.
This is shocking footage.
Drives off.
Everyone should watch
this is the shockingest part. Look, My man's walking past an hour too later.
That's not the same cabbie.
That's the same cabbie that dropped him off, bro.
How do you know?
Because
What?
he's wearing the same clothes.
No.
It's the same guy. He walks up, talks to some
What? And everyone's just standing by the guy. No one's putting him in the recovery position or nothing.
because
I presume police or ambulance came eventually.
yeah, but
What the hell?
he just left him, man. He just.
This doesn't look like real footage, what we're watching. This looks like a joke.
I wish it was, but that's literally what happened, man.
Right, do we know? So is there more details to this story? Are you
There's
gonna
no,
tell us the
I
ins and
wish
outs now, or
Literally,
what?
all the article
Is that
says is CCTV footage shows the moment a taxi driver drags an unconscious passenger from his cab by the feet and dumps him in the middle of a busy road.
What's the point in telling people that? Why are you just gonna tell people that and show them a video? Is that not just like clickbait?
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's not even proper news. Like, obviously that's news. That's worthy. That's shocking. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
But displaying it in that format, is that not just clickbait?
exactly.
What news website is it?
It's
name
on
check.
the Independent. Yeah.
Right, yeah, but I don't know. Like, obviously that shouldn't happen. That's
No,
shocking.
They're trying to track
What-
down the cabbie. That's what they've written in this
Oh,
article.
okay, all right, fair
Yeah,
enough,
as
fair
you've
enough.
written it more,
Oh,
it's-
fair enough.
yeah,
Have they not got his cab's number plate? The cab's number plate's got to be on that
Yeah, I
CCTV,
don't think
and
it
it's a
was.
black cab. Surely it's what?
It was, but
It
it's
was
not. It's not
right there,
good
no?
enough quality. Really.
No way, and they can't use that camera to zoom in and see the license plate.
Maybe they can.
Maybe
but
they can or they can't.
Maybe they can't.
Maybe
see
they
it.
can't.
Yeah, you know.
Wow, but I mean, he's talking to another cabbie there. Surely one of them cab's number plates is visible and they can chat to that
that's
person,
what
no?
I mean.
Oh my.
It's crazy.
Right.
This is what's happening in this world, you know, and I don't understand it. Like how,
That's
like at
weird.
least if he's unconscious, at least take him to the, like this
Don't
is what.
just dump him in the road. What on earth are you doing?
Like-
Yeah, that's great. The guy must have been a bit mental.
Like-
But you never know. You never know what's gone on beforehand, do you?
That's true.
You never know what's gone on beforehand.
But he could have at least dropped him at the hospital, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the guy might have just tried to kill his whole family, though. In
True.
which case, I guess you can understand him dropping in the road. But obviously,
either way,
the
you
guy's
have-
unconscious.
Exactly. You have a duty of care.
Maybe the cabbie's just... I don't know, that's just weird, yeah.
Either way.
That's an
someone-
intriguing story, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's no other details, unfortunately. So
That's a
it
bit...
is what it is.
Wow. Well, moving swiftly on then, that was it. I want to know... Oh, yeah. What's next?
Let's move on to the next one.
What's
Yeah,
next?
this one again, it blew my mind. I was just like when I read the basically what happened. Yeah, I read the title and then I went to the toilet and I was like, no, what? Like, and then I thought about the scenario. The only scenario what it could be is that's the only thing he could say, and so basically a burglar wakes up a couple
Yeah.
to ask to use their Wi-Fi.
What?
The burglar said he needed network access because he was out of data.
The only thing I can... Yeah, no, I mean, he obviously... That's ridiculous. Obviously, he just got caught doing the move, innit? Like, he got clocked, come on.
That's what I'm saying, but
What?
apparently it wasn't his... That was the second time that he got caught, but...
But
first,
he woke them up. They didn't
Yeah.
wake up. He
No,
woke
he-
them
he
up.
woke
He was like,
them up.
hey, guys, can I use your
Okay.
Wi-Fi?
It says a 60-something couple in a Paula Alto got...
Is that in the UK or not?
I don't think so.
Okay. Sounds like Brazil pulled out. I don't...
It got an unpleasant surprise on Sunday when they woke up in the middle of the night to find a masked intruder in their bedroom. He said he wanted to use the couple's Wi-Fi. The burglar didn't get the Wi-Fi password he was looking for, however. The man obviously leaped out of the bed and confronted him,
Right.
shoved him out the hallway, got him out the front door.
Right.
Police immediately were called and the troublemaker was arrested minutes later. No one was injured.
So they woke up. He didn't wake them up asking for the Wi-Fi. They woke up
They
and he
woke
asked
up.
for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's just that's like a funny little story about... So basically there was a burglary. This comical moment happened during said burglary. Yeah, that wouldn't have made the papers without that moment. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah. But
There's a lot of people who can think on his feet.
But
Maybe
he's
got a
a
career in comedy.
17-year-old boy.
17-year-old boy.
Yeah, he's been unnamed.
I'm
obviously,
sure he does. I'm sure he does have a career in something better than bloody that, but
But apparently,
stuck in some system or
Yeah.
some situation that's meaning he's doing that instead of
maybe
following the passion for comedy or something. Just random example, but you know what I'm saying.
But the day before, apparently, it was reported that he did the same thing at someone else's house.
Before. Didn't get caught asking for Wi-Fi.
He didn't get caught on.
Yeah,
no, it was
so
the
he
same
was-
situation. He was just like, "Oh, I'm out on network. Can I use your?"
Wait, he said that twice, 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
He got caught 2 nights in a row doing burglaries and said the same thing.
Yeah. But
I
obviously,
can't believe he went out and did another burglary after he got caught the first night.
But the first
That's-
one was the best.
poor-
Yeah, what
poor
happened
kid.
was the
He
first
must
one
be
when I read
doing-
it was the best. Yeah, he broke in. Obviously, he got confronted the same way. They came in, they found him, and they were like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Oh, I'm out of day. I just came to use the Wi-Fi." And then obviously they chase him out the house. He climbs out the back.
With a mask on, you know.
Yeah, he jumps on a fucking push bike, and he rides off. He finds out that the push bike that he jumped on was stolen from the back of their house, at the back of the place that he was robbing.
Oh.
So he jumps on their bike and rides off.
Lord. Poor kid though, you gotta want what's he going through.
True,
But, yeah.
but it's
You say that about anyone though, do you know them ones a lot of people are going through stuff, obviously don't go and do that. But then you never know what an individual's going through.
Yeah. It's funny you were talking about mobile phone usage.
Oh, don't. Are we gonna start? Go on.
No, because there was an article on
yeah.
BBC about confessions of a smartphone addict. And the reason why it was so interesting is because they made developers accounts so they could download the latest version of the Apple iOS, which is iOS 12.
Right.
And on that update, they have a new feature where you can track your usage on your iPhone. It tells you exactly how long you've been on your phone, how much screen time you've had,
God.
how many times you've looked at your phone, just looked at the screen. It tells you where.
They've got that on. That's
That's
good.
what-
They need that.
exactly.
I need to get that on
They've
mine.
told you-
Yeah,
it's going to be on the new
'cause
update.
I don't want to see that because I'm worried. I worry about how much I use my phone.
Yeah.
Like I'm alright with it. Like, but wow, I
So
want to get that because
it's
that will help me
literally-
cut down my usage.
It comes up literally like that. So it tells you how long you've been using your phone on that day, what apps you've been using, how long you've been on that app for.
Madness. I need
shit
to
like
get that. Like I don't use my phone a lot. Like when I'm with people, I turn my phone on airplane mode and I spend that time with those people. Like, and I'm with people most of all day, every day. But when I'm by myself, I check my phone a stupid amount. Like, and a lot of time I'm using it for work. Like, that's like the positive use is that I can use it for networking and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I make an effort to do that. But then like, while I'm doing that, because I didn't have social media before I like got into spoken word and acting and stuff. Like I didn't really have it. I had Facebook from a kid, but I never used it. But then obviously I've got Instagram and Twitter because people say you need it for business. You got to promote yourself. You got to be out there. People need to be able to find you, etc. But to have them accounts, to have that working, you need to use them.
Yeah.
You have to use them. Otherwise, people don't follow you. You need to be interacting with people, and that's a lot. It's very time consuming.
It is.
And so, but while you're doing that, you force yourself to do that for work. But then having the apps on your phone and seeing them, you can't help. Especially with Instagram, you can't help just look at it sometimes, and see all the stuff other people are trying to show you that they're up to, and oh my gosh, is it unhealthy? Oh my gosh, is it unhealthy? And I see it so much. Like I see it in myself. It worries me sometimes. In the evening, I'll just clock myself looking at Instagram, and then sometimes I'll spend 10 minutes, 20. Sometimes 20 minutes. I'm embarrassed to say that, but sometimes I swear to God, if I'm a bit lean or whatever in the evening, like late at night, you can literally sit for 20 minutes and like, oh my God, I've wasted 20 minutes. I could have been watching something worth watching, reading something worth reading, speaking to someone worth speaking to, even via a phone, like or listening to music, writing. What, and you've gained nothing from that time except a bad feeling generally. Like you know them ones you get jealous of what everyone else is doing, or like you're like and like it's obviously it's cliched to say, but that is the effect of it. I've been experiencing it recently. It's not something I've just because I've been using it for work, so I've been looking at it.
Subconscious, you don't.
It is, but if you're kind of, I think if you're remotely self-aware, you should feel it.
Yeah,
like I do anyway. Like
I do.
like God, watching Stormzy's birthday party.
That was
Like
dope.
it was, it looked dope. I'm big, like I'm gassed for the scene, and it's kind of aspirational in a way.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, there's a complex. It's a bit sad, like because everyone in the videos was all filming it. Everyone was filming it. So in everyone's videos, everyone else is not involved in it. They're actually filming it. So it's all a bit ironic.
We live in a
It's a
time
publicity
where,
stunt.
like,
Everything to verify something, you have to post it on social media, and it's becoming a third, like, an extra part of us. Like,
it's like we don't enjoy the moment. It's like we have to record it so then we can enjoy it later, and that's great. But sometimes you just have to be in the moment. And
I
enjoy it.
totally agree. I mean, like, I've got a really big problem with the whole of technology, but I don't want to go on about that. Like, and it's more, you've got to look at things from both sides.
Yeah, of course.
So from the positive side, like, I don't know, maybe maybe the way we enjoy things is changing as it always have, and like maybe a lot of people, there was a phase when everyone had something else in their hand, I presume. Do you know, like things go in phases, and maybe it's just a phase As I'm saying this, I'm thinking, no, it's the beginning of the world changing
Yeah,
into
it
like
is.
cyborg
You
land.
know it is.
But I mean, yeah, maybe.
Be
But on the
optimistic,
positive
though.
side, maybe it's just like an adaptation to the way we think. It's a new. Maybe it's just an addition to our memory, a new level of recording things. So we don't have to use our brains so much for storing images and shit. We can just take pictures and you store them. But no, that's all bullshit because I've got 5,000 pictures on my phone, all of which I took thinking this will be really useful to look back on or to post.
Yeah.
Or like use for this or that. Can't look back for them. There's too many of them. I ain't got time.
I know what you mean.
Technology, I always just go back to the fact that it makes us reliable on something which is unreliable. It makes us reliant on something that is not reliable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more to it, as in like the mental health
Like,
issues that it causes. But
it's kind of like, as much as it makes life easier, it also makes life more complicated at the same time.
Totally.
Like
100%.
so, like back in the day, thinking about it, I'm so glad that we never had cameras back in the day, you know, because like there's a lot of things that I did, like dumb shit, like when I was young, that like, you know, I'm glad that we didn't have cameras before that to be posted on YouTube and shit like that. But like we just, I feel like we enjoyed times more, like even playing like board games and stuff. You can't play a board game now. Everyone has to be playing the game on their phone, and you know.
Well, you know what? Right, that's interesting. I kind of I agree. Like really and truly, I agree in the sense that I don't know. I worry. You see nowadays, there's on average there's a lot of surveys which show this, and it's kind of obvious. I think there's a pretty low life satisfaction among people generally, among the majority of people. There's pretty low life satisfaction. And I mean, a crazy statistic with Americans, I think it's like 95% or something, or it might be like 80%, don't quote me, but my opinion means nothing anyway. But no, there's been surveys, it's like a ridiculously high percentage of people do not enjoy what they do 9 to 5, 5 days a week, or in most cases, it's more than 9 to 5, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And obviously we're blessed in the UK that it's generally 9 to 5, 5 days a week is considered alright, and you can, well no, you can't always earn enough of that, but well, let's not get started, we still live at home, don't we, so like, it's alright for a second,
Yeah,
but,
you know.
But no, life satisfaction, has there always been such low life satisfaction? Or is it just since the agricultural revolution, or is it just since the scientific revolution? And we study history to death, but we don't study because we don't relative happiness throughout that history. As we create all these new things, every revolution that we've recorded and studied, and like more recently we study them scientifically, but even in the last 500 years where we've been studying our progress scientifically and historically recording it, we haven't looked at how happy people are relatively, like people's life satisfaction relatively. And I feel like because we're so far away from being able to fulfill our human instincts, evolutionary instincts, which we haven't had time to readapt for the modern world, because it's changed in the last, so recently, I feel like that's the cause of a lot of the negative stuff that's happening. Saying that though, there's always been violence between animals, that's always been a thing. Yeah. In fact, now the fewest people ever die from violent crime.
Yeah.
Like the fewest people ever die from violence, including wars and all that. But is there like lower life satisfaction? Are people happier than they were 500 years ago on average? Or like, but I feel like maybe 20, 30,000 years ago when we were still hunter-gatherers, then we were happier. For me, that seems like it was natural. Since the agricultural revolution, it's all gone down. It's all gone unnatural.
Yeah.
But then it's not unnatural because we've done it, we've created it. But for me, I feel like I would have loved to have been a hunter-gatherer. That sounds a bit dumb, but no. I tell you what though, I am most happy when I'm running around playing in the woods or climbing mountains or swimming in a river. Nothing feels better than swimming in natural water.
Yeah.
Nothing feels better. If you did that all day, people could do that.
Yeah.
And they had what, like an average of like an 18-hour working week. Like people work 3 hours a day, 5 days a week or something. Yeah. Like that was what you needed to do to gather food or to hunt, whatever your role was within that community.
Maybe it's just like a UK thing, because like even like in places like, I'm gonna talk about Spain because they have like a siesta because it gets so hot.
Yeah.
But like
in the low life satisfaction, is that just a UK thing?
Like,
maybe
that's what I mean. Like,
well, I think it's an American thing as well.
Yeah.
But maybe there's countries where they don't have that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Who knows? I feel like the siesta thing's good.
Yeah, that's.
And I feel like people are pretty happy in Europe.
Yeah.
I really want to go and live in Spain or Italy for a year.
Yeah.
I'm dying to move to Spain or Italy for a year and learn the language, maybe get a TEFL first so I could work out there.
Yeah.
But it's just taking myself. It's so hard to stop myself pursuing all the creative stuff I'm doing here.
Yeah. Exactly.
And like you can kind of keep doing it, but like can't do no gigs in London while I'm living in Spain or Italy. But I'm dying to because I only speak one language, and I feel like in the one day that's a bit shitty.
Yeah.
When I've travelled and met people who speak like 5, 6 languages like it's nothing, you just got to think they're less likely to get dementia. Do you know what I mean? Their brains are, and you just it's another level of thinking.
I can't.
What countries do you reckon it's not like that in, and what countries do you reckon it is them?
I think I can't remember what country it was that my friend said. I think it might have been Germany, but any Germans that listen, don't quote me on this.
Remember, our opinions mean nothing.
But I think there was one country in Europe where my mate said that the government actually have stepped in with the housing prices and told landlords that no, they can't charge this price.
Okay.
So it's made
you think it might have been Germany?
Yeah, maybe. I think it might have been Germany. It was somewhere in Europe, but it's basically so there's more affordable housing because the government has stepped in and said, look, we need this for the people, so you guys need to be more realistic.
Yeah, I wonder.
I want to find out more about that.
Yeah, but I mean, because there's just so many better options for the way we're living as societies globally. There's so many better options.
But then, I was gonna say Brexit, and this is issue that we mainly have right now is we don't know what's actually happening with our status within Europe.
No, we don't. Now. Did you vote?
I voted for us to stay.
Me too. Yeah, I voted for us to stay.
We're leaving, but are we though? You know,
I don't know. What does that mean? And will it actually affect anyone, or will it just affect? But then it'll affect money, and they'll say that's affecting more cuts. Do you know that? It's just.
You know, it's like
it's the world. That's what I'm saying. The world does seem very mad at the moment.
Yeah.
And would it not? We don't know, but I don't know. I feel like this level of overstimulation for one.
Yeah.
Unnatural overstimulation is not natural for humans, and we haven't evolved to cope with it. And I think that is such a big cause of why there is so much mental health, like negative mental health issues. People die, and people like the suicide rate is like shocking all over the world. In the UK, it's shocking. All over the world, the suicide rate is crazy. Like, that's like the most likely way to die. Like if you're a young man in the UK.
Yeah.
And like bearing that in mind, what's some shit's going wrong? Like
something we need to.
Shit's going wrong drastically.
Better,
surely, like I don't know. It's so weird. Statistics can show you both ways, and I'm fucking ignorant as shit. Like we're totally really and truly we're ignorant as much as like we're so ignorant really.
Yeah.
Like, we only know we only know what we've learned from like I don't know myself anyway. Like I'd like to consider myself kind of like I try and educate myself and I try and be knowledgeable and open, but relatively we're ignorant as hell. Yeah. The most intelligent person in the world knows nothing. The only true knowledge is that we know nothing. So it's hard to speculate, but it's fun though, isn't it? And that's what.
On the recent episode, I was talking to Ayo, and he was talking about what is it called?
Is that the most recent one?
The most recent.
I listened to that, yeah.
And he was talking about I can't think of what it's called, the 7 Natural Laws.
Yeah, you were talking about a lot of spirituality and stuff. It was really interesting.
And like he was saying how although we know the most smartest person knows nothing, at the same time we know everything. Because everything that we need to know or anything that we want to learn is already here. We just haven't like discovered it yet or like figured it out yet.
In a way, and also in a way, we learn everything we need to learn or we die.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But nowadays, that's more complicated because there's stuff we need to learn that's not natural for us to learn. We was natural at learning like hunting and gathering and surviving in a world of animals.
I feel like the education system, we need to teach people something that they can actually use in real life.
Yes.
Like whenever I use the fucking triangle, fam.
Don't get me started, bro.
Pythagoras or.
Bro, it's ridiculous. The education
I know
system
all this shit, but
is so far off. And education is the most powerful weapon we've got.
You know.
And we ain't using it for shit. We ain't using it for shit. We're not using it for shit. We're throwing it down the drain. Like I'm not even trying to exaggerate. I'm actually not trying to exaggerate. I'm just getting worked up because it is that appalling and that wasted.
It's a general thought that I had the other day. It's just like what, like all these things that you've taught me about what, like it's like do you know what school's like? It's like a taster course. That's what school feels like. It's
that's kind of what it's made to be.
But it shouldn't be like a taste. You're meant to be teaching me.
Instead of just preparing people for the shit that life might be. Because at the moment, that's what it does. It's preparing people to go into shitty jobs and follow instructions.
Yeah, exactly.
Preparing people to work efficiently in a hierarchy, which comes from like the 1800s when school started and like trying to get people to work in factories and whatnot and bringing the lower and the middle class into jobs. Like you can research the history of it. it's interesting. I'm beginning my research on it, but to outline it was started to get people trained up to do simple jobs in factories, have basic mathematical and English skills, and be able to work in a factory. But like the way it was run, the oppressive style of running it, simply the style of running it in a totally hierarchical thing where the students are the lowest status in the community. It's not a community, it's not viewed as a community, and the students are the lowest status. And they need to be made to feel like that in order to comply with what the powers that be are enforcing them to do. And that is just fundamentally wrong. And that system has developed over the last 200 years a little bit in the range of subjects we study, but it's developed into a still fairly even more arbitrary than it was, because back then it was what they needed to work in the factories. Whereas now, it's a bunch of random stuff. Like, yeah, it sounds kind of, well, we're used to it, the sound of the subject, so it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, history, art, drama, English, maths, yeah, science, great. But when you look at what they're studying and the way they're studying it, it makes no sense.
At all.
None at all. If you've been in a school, like, and you're not
like literally
blind, unless it's a great individual school,
literally the best example I can give here is like, I know like anything before university is a taster course, and I know this because my mate said he studied maths at university, and he said the first day he went in, they told him everything that you've learnt up to this point.
It was bollocks.
Very much.
I've heard of that being told on other uni courses as well. But you know what the joke thing is? Uni's a joke as well.
Yeah.
Uni's a bigger joke than school.
It really is,
not in every case. There's some great courses and some people get a lot out of it and get what they need out of it. But on the whole, it's a joke.
It's literally just a bubble where life doesn't matter.
It's just free, yeah. And really and truly, I've always been totally against the idea.
You didn't go?
I was changing the topic. I meant totally against the idea of conscription, national conscription.
Yeah.
Oh
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, changing the topic. quick swings. We can get back to uni, but I don't know. I've always been totally against that idea because I've always thought of it in relation to being in the army. But when you think about that as an idea, national service, not conscription, that means to the army, I think. National service, if it isn't for the army, could be the solution to bare stuff. I heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast. They were talking about America, but I related it to the UK and how useful it could be, because they're talking about the way Israel do it. And I know a fair few Israelis, and I'm not Israeli, but even with my name.
You mean like what they have in Sweden, where like everyone is kind of...
Is it Sweden where they've got the system in progress?
Yeah.
Well, basically, I'm talking about a system where everyone between the age of like 16 and 21, you have to do a year or two of helping out in some way that's needed. Yeah. But imagine if we made that stuff like being teachers. Imagine if all teachers done it like that and everyone just taught the age group below them. Or if those jobs were stuff like doing the bins, being bin men, and being nurses and working in old people's homes and working as teaching assistants. Kind of shitty jobs, but jobs that need doing. And you get paid a living wage, and they're not crazy hours. So you get to have fun for those couple of years as well. And so a lot of Israeli people have this like commitment and this devotion to their country, which I've never really been able to understand, especially because they're like, oh yeah, I'm excited to join the army. I've spoken to so many Israelis and they're really excited about their national service and joining the army. I'm always like, fuck, I'm so sorry you're going to the army, I hope you're alright, but they see it as a positive thing because they see it as like, oh, I have to. Everyone in my country does it. I'm supporting my country. And that makes the country feel like a community, which is something we don't have in the UK except when the World Cup's on. Yeah. And so that gives it... And obviously, I don't think it should be through an army necessarily. But imagine if we just had that national service and it was compulsory. And people might be a bit pissed off at first when we introduce it. People would get used to that idea very easily. And it would give everyone a sense of community. Doing the bins, you'd recycle it. So much needs doing.
I did a Duke of Edinburgh award.
I used to work for them. It's jokes. It's sick.
Obviously, I know what you mean. When I know I had to complete my course, I had to do some kind of service, and I had to go out and source my own, my own source of whatever I was doing. I think my first time I did it, I volunteered in the library and I helped out in the library. Cool.
Did you do bronze, silver, and gold, or
I did bronze, silver, and gold.
Awesome.
I did bronze, silver, all of them completed properly, and then gold. I've just done the expedition.
You've done the expedition, calm.
And I've done one other thing.
That's what matters. I haven't done any. I haven't signed any of them off. I did the volunteering and the sport and the activity for bronze. Did all of them. But I did it many years ago in the year when it went from being a paper system to a computer system. And on my parents' home desktop that was enormous, the same one we've still got, but I couldn't upload I couldn't manage to scan in the what I'd written on this little booklet, so I never got around to it. Even when I worked for them, I didn't actually put it into the computer system. I completed it. But the expedition on Gold is sick, isn't it? Did you enjoy it? Where did you do it?
To Wales.
Snowdonia or Brecon Beacons?
I went to the Black Mountains.
Black Mountains.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are.
I
Somewhere in
think it
Wales.
was in Wales.
Cool. Sick. I haven't heard of them. I need to check them out.
It's dope. It was really nice.
I've been to Brecon Beacons. It might be in Brecon Beacons,
It
but
might be
I
in there, yeah.
don't know. I don't think it's in Snowdonia.
But I know
But
that
Gold's amazing. DOV's actually is really cool. We need more programs like that.
that's
It's a
what I
good
mean.
program for getting young.
But-
Yeah.
But we
It's a
only
really
have
great program.
that, and like not many people talk about it, and it's
We
not
should
really...
get DOV to sponsor the podcast, man.
If I could get that shit, that'd be crazy.
Anyone we mentioned, just be like,
Yeah.
yo, just sponsor us.
Sponsor me, man. Jeez,
Get the
that'd be
views
dope.
up first, like, you know.
Yeah, but we need more systems in place to help the community or help the young people more fucking, because that's what I'm saying, it's because they're
100%.
taking the fucking funding.
What happened to all the youth clubs?
They're taking the funding
No
away.
more youth clubs, like what?
They don't have the money to... No one's
Where
investing.
are kids meant to get that education from older people, but people that can be on a level with them? Because that's another problem with the education system. The way it is set up, part of the fundamentals of it working in a system where the kids have to comply or they get punished, means that there can't be a nice connection. There can't be a bond between student and teacher. It's virtually impossible. And if you're a teacher who is nice to the kids, you get in trouble for it. Because the schools are worried about covering their asses in case a kid goes, oh, he touched me inappropriately, or I don't know. And obviously, having no physical contact between teachers and students in school is, I don't know, it's challenging when you want to shake a child's hand on their birthday, and if a child goes to hug you, you want it. Sadly, we don't live in a world where you can do that.
Yeah.
But in a youth group, you can. And yeah, fair enough, maybe there's some situations where leaders and kids get together and it don't, and it's not positive. However, that's a more natural way of education. Not sex between leaders and fucking kids.
Yeah, of course.
But we're in an environment learning from people that are kind of your peers, but they're a bit older, in a youth group setting. Or just working with people who you can be on a level with and friendly with. How are you going to learn from people you're scared of and you can't be honest with? It's ridiculous.
I think one of my mates, I can't think.
I get wound up about the education system, you know.
I think my mate's, he's trying to do a Big Brother program at the moment, setting up.
Trying to set another one of them up.
Yeah.
Great.
Trying to do that.
Is that good? Do we need another one of them?
Big Brother programs where
Big Brother,
as
is
in,
that good?
as in Big Brother as in the sense
Are they...
an older guy.
Oh,
or-
bro! I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking about TV, fam. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly that kind of.
I thought you were talking about a reality show.
No.
I was like, well, that's cool, good for him. That's a good production
That's
credit.
what
But
I was wondering why.
I thought your mates were people who did cool films and stuff.
No. He's setting up
A Big Brother organisation to mentor people.
Yeah, something to mentor people.
Oh, that's fantastic. We need more of them. There's a lot of good ones about though, the Daddy Cool Project. You heard of that?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones about promoting positive fatherhood and
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff about. Are we on a schedule of stuff I'm going to be talking about?
Not really. I'll go back to
Yeah,
the
where
article
are
that I had at hand, which was.
Would you like some more blackberries?
Oh, of course, man. Thank
Come
you.
on. Shout out Pick Your Own Farm in where is that? Foster's Enfield way.
I need to.
Banging fruit, bare cheap.
Don't run on this page. There you go. So the headline reads: Medical cannabis is to be made available on prescription.
But. Let's go get that for my ADHD, but no, they won't give it to me for my ADHD because you've got to have epilepsy.
Hey.
Nearly went on a get thing, but I'm not gonna start.
Hey, man.
I think it's for epilepsy and really see. I think they're saying it's for super rare cases, which is fair enough. But mate, it's the first step.
It's the first step.
It's not. It's the second step. CBD weed has been legal for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't believe this when I found this out a few months ago. That CBD weed has been you've been able to buy flowers like buds legally.
See.
There's a shop on Portobello Road.
See, this is
been
the
there for
thing.
years.
I've found out there's a grey area with it.
Right.
Whereas you can
the shop's
buy
gassing
it.
it.
No, you can buy it and smoke it legally. It's not. I wouldn't say that you should smoke it maybe on the street, because
Because it's easily confused.
Yeah, exactly. Because one of my mates told me a story about a guy who was smoking up the CBD's weed, but he was smoking it walking down the street.
Yeah. Oh,
Obviously,
no.
Fed smelt it.
Yeah.
w-
But it
walked
smells like
up-
weed.
Yeah, it smells like weed. He walked up to him and he was like, "Yo, you can't be smoking that." He's like, "No, it's CBD."
Yeah.
They took it to the lab. They tested it, but because it had a certain amount of THC in it, which was
Too much.
above the
0.
legal-
There's like a 0.0 something
Yeah.
percent that the CBD weed can have of THC because it's impossible to get all of it out. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also,
But it
you
had more
need to
THC
have
than
a certain amount of THC in it so it can react.
But the other thing is, if it's complicated though, because if you've been smoking weed with THC, oh no, they tested the weed though.
yeah,
they tested the weed.
it, but that's because
What, the weed that was in the spliff, like that had already burnt up.
The CBD stuff.
Yeah.
It had too
Okay,
much
so he obviously hadn't got it from a legit source of THC.
Yeah, of course, and obviously
Hemp Botanics, Portobello Road,
I think it
they've
was
got, like,
just
the
a bit
legit
under as well,
stuff.
but they still bagged him for it.
Alright, so I've heard different stories. So, like, I don't know, I had one, there was an article, I can't remember if it was an article, no, it was a cop posting on an online forum, and he said, look, if I see someone who's smoking something that looks and smells like weed, I'm going to nick them. And, like, whatever, if the CBD stuff's legal, when it gets to the lab, we'll see, and then they can go. But if they're smoking publicly something that looks like it, I'm going to nick them. However, I've heard someone got stopped by the police driving. They were hotboxing the car. They just pulled off. They were boy racer. They just pulled off, and like the car was hotboxed. The police come over. Obviously, they had to open the windows. The smell come out. Police was like, "Come on, mate, you just fucking breezed off, and you've." Well, I doubt the policeman swore, but you know what I mean. That was the sentiment. You've just breezed off in your car. You're still smoking weed, and the guy went, "No, I bought it at Hemp Botanics. It's CBD weed." This is the lady who works in Hemp Botanics told me this. Shout out to her. She's blessed. I'm not saying it. I feel, but anyhow. Like, she told me a story as one of her customers, because I said, like, what's the deal with driving and smoking this? She said he was pulled over by the police, and they said, okay, fair enough. He showed them the receipt, he showed them the pot, and they said, all right, fair enough, and they let him go. They didn't even take it and test it. I imagine in some cases, obviously, I think it just depends on the day the policeman's have him.
Yeah.
That's what I figured with driving and smoking. But it's legal to drive it and smoke it. It is.
Yeah.
So if you're smoking properly legit CBD weed, from all the research I've been able to do, and it's hard to research this kind of stuff. They make it really tricky to find this shit out. Really tricky. But from all the research I've done, it seems that if you're smoking weed that's got no THC in it, or like under the minimum which should be for CBD weed, which is like 0.00 something, it's like nothing, it's no THC, then you are fine smoking and driving. And if you get a cop on a bad day, they might take you in and test it, and then they're going to like a dickhead when it comes out with no THC, because CBD is not illegal. THC is a Class B drug.
Yeah.
So if your weed ain't got so it's mad. Weed is kind of legal. I know it's not proper, but
the thing with the Medicare, with it becoming medically being able to be prescribed medically, that means it's gonna have to come down from a B to a C.
is that happening?
Yeah, I think that is going to happen.
But so they're gonna keep it as a Class C drug.
They're still
and
gonna
yet
keep
have
it
prescribed
illegal
medical.
for
Okay, fair enough. I mean, like
recreational
they
use.
use.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's still illegal, but
they use morphine and loads of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Look
I-
at that,
yeah.
like the way they use poppies. Wow. But yeah, no, I mean it's positive. It's like positive steps.
But it all started from the little boy Billy Caldwell.
Yeah,
Cadwell,
yeah.
Cadwell?
And I mean, it's great for the people who need it with epilepsy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic,
Yeah.
and it's about bloody time.
It is about, and it's
But
the
here's a question. Like, so there must be something that THC, they need the THC combined with CBD to treat the epilepsy, right? Because they could get CBD oil, they could get that easy.
Yeah, but it's
So
like
they need the THC in it. What are they getting
for
getting?
the CBD to react properly,
Yeah.
you need a
Some
certain amount
THC
of
to get
THC.
not to react properly, to get a
but
psychoactive
to get
effect.
a proper but
Yeah,
you
but
want,
the epilepsy cure is obviously it might be some of the CBD's muscle relaxing properties,
Yeah.
but they need the psychoactive effect for the painkilling, I guess,
Yeah.
as well.
or
And I mean, it's a better way to take a painkiller, I guess, than
but
taking
I
pharmaceutical drugs.
I read about the
artificial
story,
ones.
and then it's basically they used to have like so many pills that they used to give him to take, but they used to have the pills had so many bad side effects that it wasn't worth it. But then once they went to California one time and they tried the CBD oil and
Yeah.
they saw
They had to go to
how-
California and try CBD oil.
Yeah, because it's
Oh,
not
it
legal
is.
here, isn't it?
No, it is.
Oh, but no, before when
Oh,
they
this was a
before,
couple of years
this was
ago.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Because CBD oil has been legal here for a couple of years
Yeah,
now.
but I mean, before
Right,
it was
yeah,
legal
yeah.
here,
They had
they
to go
went
to
to California. They tried
And the
it,
effects were crazy positive,
and
right?
it was positive, and there was no side effects.
I know.
And they saw him actually living his life as opposed to
That-
having all these seizures.
That's
all
the
the
tip
time.
of the iceberg of a bigger problem, which is the pharmaceutical industry, though, and
Yeah.
the pharmaceutical companies. That whole industry and the pharmaceutical companies are all out to get profit.
Yeah.
And so all the pharmaceuticals that doctor, even like the way they taught at uni, like the answer for everything is take a pill.
Yeah.
And like it's becoming more well known that that's actually not the best way.
It's not.
But the NHS and most of the national health organisations across the world have to continue giving out the drugs because their funding comes from the drug companies,
Yeah, exactly.
who coincidentally like fund their own tests, and they can do 100 trials and release the one trial with a result they like. They don't have to publish all their trials.
Yeah.
I mean, how absurd!
It's crazy.
Like it's so corrupt. It's so corrupt. It's like it's really scary. And you know, like in France now, kids can't go to school if they haven't had all the vaccines. That is so terrifying. Like, what if you don't want your kid to have the vaccines? They can't go to school in France. So it's essentially forcing people, if they want their kids to go to school, they have to get the vaccines. And obviously, it's a controversial issue. It's a very controversial issue. Don't know if we'll get into it right now, but that's a bit of a violation of human rights, is it not? Say if you haven't had these vaccines, which we're not telling you the full ins and outs, because that's the thing. That side shut down the debate on vaccines. I'm not even stating my opinion on it. Like, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
But from the pharmaceutical industry side, and because when they control the media, for example, with Andrew Wakefield, when that all happened. If you want to research Andrew Wakefield, if you're interested, is it cool to plug that?
Plug whatever, man.
If you want to research like any of this, like Andrew Wakefield is a place to start. Just Google him, and you can probably find a load of bad, which are untrue media articles about him, scapegoating him. You can also find him speaking on YouTube and explaining the whole situation that happened. But like, it was over the MMR vaccine, and he wasn't a left wing guy. He wasn't anti-vaccine. He just said maybe we should look at this because this might not be a great idea. Like, I've had people come to me saying there's problems after it. Let's have a look. Like, let's investigate it. And obviously, when the investigation found that there could be a link, and he didn't say, "Yo, there's a link between the vaccine and autism." He didn't say that. He just said we should look into it. But they scapegoated him and said that he was a nutter trying to make his own vaccine, make a load of money. Load of rubbish. Totally scapegoated him. They obviously other doctors were all threatened. You can't speak about this issue. They shut down the debate. They weren't willing to say, right, let's test these things and check if there is any danger in them. Come on, like, is that not so blatantly corrupt? Like, it drives me insane when you say it. It's quite simple, and like I'm not even going into any of the science of it because I'm not educated on that side of it. But like, when you look at that, the fact that they won't discuss the issue publicly, they shut it down and scapegoat the person who's speaking about it because they're terrified of the scientific results if it is properly investigated.
Do you know what the thing is, right?
And that's the people who's running our whole system. Like,
the thing with this whole medical cannabis thing, I was talking about with my friend the other day. I think it's slightly corrupt. I feel because
it makes so much money in America.
I don't know if you know. I've said it before on this podcast, but I'll say it again. I'll tell you that I don't know if you know that the UK is the world's
second
largest medical cannabis supplier. They supply.
I thought it was the second. I didn't know it was the largest.
They are the largest. The UK is the largest. They supply the world with 45%, or something.
No way. So where are them warehouses, man? Where are them warehouses that all that Cali shit's growing like?
But listen.
So all the shit that's getting imported to here is getting grown here for nothing, taken to Cali for like relatively nothing, sold in Cali for quite a lot, and then imported back here and sold here for a fucking fortune. It's a joke. Where are them warehouses?
and listen to this.
They're mugging it.
And this is how
And they're nicking people over here for shotting the shit they grew.
But this is it. The guy who owns GW Pharmaceuticals, which is the company that grows all this medical cannabis
in the UK, in the UK, man. Right.
So
is it a British company?
It's a British company, yeah.
Right. GW
Pharmaceuticals,
right.
yeah. So the governing minister of drug policy, her husband is he runs British Sugar
GW Pharma, right?
Yeah, basically her husband runs GW Pharmaceuticals.
It's a joke. Yeah, they kicked off, what's his name? They kicked off the gig. Guy said ecstasy was as dangerous as riding a horse because it was a fact and he got fired for it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember.
It's not. I definitely know it. I read his book. It was fascinating. Everyone knows who we're talking about. It's fine.
I know who you're talking about.
The guy said ecstasy is less dangerous than riding a horse. Oh, what's his name? I've got his book upstairs. It's called, I think, the Drugs Without the Hot Air. That's the name of his book. So Google that. In fact, Google that. We can find out his name. Drugs Without the Hot Air. I want it to come to me before, but David Nutt, Professor David Nutt. That's it.
Yeah, David Nutt.
Professor David Nutt. Yeah, he he's written a really fascinating book, which is a lot of truth about drugs from his research, and he's been like a main researcher over the years. But then he was kicked off the council for saying the fact that like Leo, look at the way alcohol is promoted, and like there's a big problem with the way that alcohol is promoted in universities, and like the government fund students to drink with like funded student bars and stuff, and like a lot of businesses fund their employees, all this stuff, and alcohol is a serious drug. Like most people don't consider it that because it's legal. Yeah. But when people talk about drugs, like they don't include alcohol. It's ridiculous because it's a drug. Like it's up there with MD and cocaine and heroin. It's like
acceptable.
I know, it's a flipping weird one, isn't it? But like it's a serious drug. Like it's a serious man-made drug. It's been around for a while, but it is a serious man-made drug, especially the way it's made now. Do you know what I mean? When it was around back in the day, maybe beer, even fermented whiskies, whatever, it was all homemade.
Yeah.
But
now it's mass produced.
Alcohol is poison, and the way it's advertised and sold is a joke.
And the way how
and he was saying that and saying like, look, and he was also talking about medicinal uses for mushrooms and for MDMA and for ketamine, which are like endless possibilities, and that's why he was kicked off basically.
He was too far, as they call it, hippie.
Yeah. But like, so they were talking about on the Joe Rogan podcast, they were talking about how in America, I think it might be similar situation over here. They're just in the last few years restarting all the research into hallucinogenics and the medical properties, because there's so much unknown. Well, they know a lot already that there's amazing qualities with hallucinogenics for curing depression, helping people cure addiction, dealing with PTSD, coming to terms with having a terminal illness. There's all these amazing things that they can do. Never mind enhancing perception and connecting with spirituality, etc., etc. And like, but the research was stopped for about 40 years. Like, so they're starting again from where they were at the 60s, but if that hadn't been stopped, like, they'd be so far advanced in it now, and it's only now they're restarting these studies. But there's a few people like Terence McKenna and Dennis McKenna, who are kind of saying, come on, like, we've been studying this shit the hippies were telling you this shit 40 years ago, like, you guys should have, like, we told you this shit. Like,
but they did the war on drugs, and they locked everything down, and all research had to stop.
That blueberry was damn. A banging blackberry, you know, and you get a banging one that's got that perfect taste.
Yeah,
it's always been my favourite fruit.
What else?
They're trying to trick us about what to eat.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, do you know how what is that appendix? Is it
your appendix where you get appendicitis?
Yeah,
if you're unlucky.
But apparently, the appendix, it used to be connected to the whole body. Is that the one that used to? It's not.
I don't know.
Let's look this up with Google.
Maybe.
But
it
is the appendix.
The messages that they're giving the media for health are just way off the mark still.
Yeah.
Behind the times. And so much of it is money based, like margarine and butter. Like, people still think margarine's healthier than butter. It's not. If you're eating organic butter, like. But obviously they make organic ridiculously expensive, and it's impossible to buy unless you're nicely well off. So.
Yeah.
They make it impossible to get decent quality food, and like really cheap food you can feed yourself for a week for £10 on shit food, but you can't eat health. You can't eat 5 a day. Never mind organic. Forget organic for now. And obviously, who wants to eat 5 a day that's sprayed with pesticides? But forget organic for now. You can't eat 5 a day for less than 50 quid a week if you want to eat some meat and some other stuff with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to eat organic food and you want to eat meat and veg, you're talking £100 a week maybe. Like, I don't know. Sadly, that's not the level I'm on. But I'm guessing.
Yeah,
but it's a ridiculous amount of money.
I know it's more.
They make it impossible to get that food. You can get dirt cheap. You can live on bread and oven food, and even McDonald's. You can even go out and buy it in a shop. Get your 500 calories from a cheeseburger for £1. But you can't get a couple pieces of fruit for £1 no more. Like this. Although
it's ridiculous.
Right, what's on the agenda? We got something positive next.
Yeah. Let's talk about.
I'm easy. I'm kidding. It's all positive, man. Like, it's all positive. It's all positive.
So
fun anyway.
The blood moon is tonight, or
what time is it? Gosh, it's dark. Bro, we've missed it.
Oh, we missed it.
It's 10:13. Bruv, we flopped.
Oh, stress. Well,
we flopped. I'm just looking at it once. We flopped. I'll have to go outside to see it. We flopped it. It's not even live, this podcast, so like this kind of means nothing to anyone. But like I'm right here now. Like, damn, like I thought I looked at my phone. It was like 7 something.
It was.
Thinking, calm. We'll just keep an eye on that, and we won't miss that. We'll be done with the podcast by then. We probably missed it before we started recording the podcast.
Yeah.
We're an hour and 9 minutes in. Yeah, we missed the
Yeah.
blood moon before we started recording the podcast. Great company though.
Yeah.
It's banging. It's been good getting to know you and chatting and discussing.
But
We missed the blood moon though.
we did miss the blood moon, but it was tonight. So
That's what happens when you smoke legal CBD weed, man.
Yeah, I know, man. You just lose yourself.
Just lose it down.
So I was gonna talk about the myths. There's a few myths that come from around the world of the meanings of the blood moons.
Yes.
So
Enlighten me.
so this is lunar malevolence. For many ancient civilizations, the blood moon came with evil intent. The ancient Inca people interrupted the deep
Inca,
red colouring as interpreted interpreted the deep red colouring as a jaguar attacking and eating the moon. They believed that the jaguar might then turn its attention to Earth, so the people should shout, shake their spears, and make their
At
dogs
the moon.
bark and howl at the moon, hoping that they would make enough noise to
And
drive the jaguars away.
The Inca era was, when are we talking, couple thousand years ago?
Yeah.
Couple thousand years ago? Are we talking
Ancient, yeah.
BC?
Yeah, definitely.
BC, okay. Yeah. I feel like it was Mesopotamia.
That is the next one. In ancient. That's what it says.
Is it? It was the Inca Society in Mesopotamia.
Yeah, in ancient Mesopotamia.
I'm just trying to remember this because it's all referenced in a book I read called *Sapiens*, which is like the most fascinating book, and I'd highly recommend it to you.
Okay.
And anyone, I'll give you the name. You need to check it out. It's,
Yeah, definitely, I will do.
it's either by Yuval Noah. Oh, yeah, go on.
What is this? It says some Hindu folktales interpret the lunar eclipse as the result of the demon Ra, or Rahu, drinking the eclipse of immortality. Twins of the sun and moon promptly dissipate Ra, but having consumed the elixir, Ryu head remains immortal. Seeking revenge, Ryu's head chases the sun and the moon to devour them. If he catches them, we have an eclipse. Ryu swallows the moon, which reappears out of his severed neck. For many people in India, a lunar eclipse bears ill fortune. Food and water are covered and cleansing rituals are performed. Pregnant women especially should not eat or carry out housework in order to protect the unborn child.
Wow. Okay, so
There are some more like...
we're alright. We missed it.
Yeah. But there are some more friendlier versions of the...
Alright.
So, the Native American Hippo and Louisiano tribes from California believe that the moon was wounded or ill after the eclipse. The moon would then need healing either by the moon's wives or by the tribesmen. The Luceno, for example, would sing and chant healing songs towards the darkness that the moon would make from the eclipse.
I think we've got. There's so much to be learnt from looking into the traditions of ancient civilizations, from what we know.
There's one that says bit my tongue there. In Islamic culture, eclipses tend to be interpreted without superstition. In Islam, the sun and the moon represent deep respect for Allah. So during an eclipse, special prayer and chanting, including a Salt al-Kawthar.
Nice. Is that still practiced in Islam? Like that's a modern Islam tradition as well. That's nice.
So, yeah.
Well, I feel I mean I'm not religious, but if I was gonna like associate with religion, for me it would be something to do with worshipping the natural world we have around us, because that's like the most powerful things we see are the elements and the earth and the mountains and the sun and the moon. So yeah, to me, paganism makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I haven't studied it in depth, but like
Yeah.
it makes more sense than worshipping something we can't see, like a higher being that we can't see,
Yeah.
and have a load of random myths about. It makes more sense to me to worship
I mean,
like nature.
there must be some sort of higher being that maybe created everything. Because
Do you think?
don't-
But then who created that? Do you know what I mean? Like, where would you go from there? And then who
It's
created
true.
whatever created that?
It's true. It's true. But then there must be that, like, because I mean, because every business, everything, is formed from some sort of pyramid. So I
Yeah.
automatically believe there must be
Someone
something
starts it and then-
above me that's created all of this, or
Someone
at
starts
least
it.
set it into motion. Not that maybe he create. I don't know if he created it or whatever, if there is a he or whatever. But
Yeah,
There
that
mu-
entity, whether that entity created it or set it into motion, or
whatever.
don't know,
I don't know. I definitely
personally,
believe
I-
there must be aliens there. There's no way we
yeah.
are the only intelligent life form in the universe. No way.
no,
no
yeah, it's,
way.
it's pretty unlikely.
No
it's
way.
pretty unlikely. I mean, like, there's statistics on it supposedly, but I don't know where they're getting them facts.
Exactly.
But it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be unlikely.
'Cause-
But as far as we know so far,
Yeah.
we're the only one close enough for us to reach or them to reach
yeah,
us.
exactly.
Because we kind of know about our solar system a bit, but we don't really know about much further than that,
Yeah.
do we? And do we even know what we think we know about our solar system?
Yeah.
I mean, there's all that. There's conspiracies about all of that.
But like, I was talking to someone about the Big Bang, and
Uh-huh.
you know, like, the Big Bang was an explosion that happened. We think loads of millions of years ago, billions of years ago, but like, it's a reaction. So like, obviously, it must exploded. It went in and then expanded, but then
And became the universe. It
became
don't make
the
sense,
universe,
does
but
it?
then at some point, does that not mean that because it's an endless cycle, everything, does that not mean that maybe
It goes back in and comes back out again. Who knows?
and
Maybe.
because we don't know exactly how old the universe is.
But then what? But like the problem is,
and that could be the reason why.
what
all
is
these-
that thing? But if there's this thing that like these two particles made the Big Bang and expanded into this whole universe, and then at some
Yeah.
point they're going to contract again into two
Yeah.
particles.
But then
But
explode
where are
again.
where are them two particles? Like, what made them? Like, where did they come from?
Hey man, who knows?
They were just
How-
floating about in nothingness. But like, we can't really comprehend nothingness, can
We
we?
can't, because there has
We
to be
cannot.
something.
Like, well, not necessarily, but we can't comprehend. I don't know. I can't comprehend
Yeah,
nothing
I
anyway.
know what you mean.
It's man. I enjoyed listening to the most recent podcast you did with what's the guy's name? Who-
Ao Adesanya.
Okay, yeah,
Adesanya.
yeah, no, it was really interesting. I enjoyed listening to you guys talking about spirituality. Everyone's got their own view on it, and that's one of the beautiful things
Yeah.
about it. And you can kind of do it in your own way, I think. And a lot of misperception of the concept of spirituality comes from people just throwing the word around, but also from it being such a broad word.
Yeah.
Because I'm in spirituality, and a lot of people go, "Oh, you sound like a dickhead." Like, sadly, like, obviously, I think we move in circles where a lot of
Yeah.
people accept that kind of stuff. Like, but like in many circles,
It's because
like,
religion
people go,
is
what-
so constrict. What is the word? It's so formal. Like, it's part of the construct.
yeah, well,
of
people
our,
are used to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, whereas being spiritual is not a new concept by any means, but it's become a bit fashionable recently.
yeah, but other
And it's
than
always
that,
been kind of fashionable though. The hippies were into it.
yeah, but people see it as, so you're like,
You think you're better than me,
Yeah,
essentially.
or-
But all it means is, no, I'm just trying to. Well, I don't know, it means something different for everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it means a positive thing, generally more focused on yourself and just trying to improve, like, and wanting to be positive around,
Yeah.
like, generally wanting to be positive and happy. It's
Yeah.
part of it's about trying to attain sort of a peaceful state, isn't it?
but like, yeah, I think we touched on religion a little bit on the last episode, but the only thing I do have to say about religion, probably sound like a broken record to anyone that's listened before, is like, we're trying to follow, like, a text that was written hundreds of millions of years ago for a time that it worked at that time, but now we're trying to follow it in modern times.
Totally ridiculous, right?
But then, obviously, if God wrote this in the past, he had the foresight to know that it
God,
probably...
God didn't write it. If it, like, come on, if there is a God, obviously, my opinion means nothing.
Yeah, of course,
but if there is a God, he's not a being that could write. Therefore, someone else wrote it.
Yeah.
Therefore, unless there's a way he can communicate with them, it was written by man.
Have you seen
Come
a
on,
series...
people wrote that shit. Like,
Yeah. Have you seen a series called Preacher?
no.
You should check out a series called Preacher.
Okay.
It's a dark comedy. Seth Rogen is one of the
Oh.
producers
Sick.
on the show, and it's basically about this preacher, and the word of God is released from the wherever it was held in this vessel, but he gets out and he gets down to earth and he's trying to find the perfect vessel that it can inhabit in human form. So he
Right.
and he finds this preacher that he
Okay.
inhabits, and then it gives this preacher godly powers.
Yeah.
But it's in this time where we're kind of now times where they started with God's gone. Like, he's gone missing. No one knows where God is. So
Right.
so then they're trying to find God, and then I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Sounds funny
it's
though.
definitely-
Sounds like it's worth.
But it's
check it
funny.
out.
What's his name? Did you watch Misfits?
Nah,
Oh.
I'm afraid I don't. I'm like, I watch a couple of random TV shows. I've got a weird thing with TV. I just can't watch. A lot of TV I just can't watch. I try
Yeah.
and I'm just like, no, this is shit.
What-
Well, there's something about, I don't know, like, there's a lot of good stuff as well.
yeah.
Don't get me twisted. And there's a lot of probably good stuff that I, for some reason, don't watch. But I don't know, I just can't get into most things. I watch it, but I'm just like, no, allow it. I'll do that. I've got stuff to do. Like,
Yeah, I hear that.
I'd rather just be working on something creative, like, when we get so little time to do creative stuff,
Yeah.
because you spend so much time
Doing
working
other
to
stuff,
earn money, trying to get by, because, yeah.
And then your chill time, you're like, just chill now, and then you just realise it's
And
the
the
end
chill
of
time
night.
goes very quickly
Yeah, and
because
then-
you've got to get to bed for work,
Yeah.
and if you stay up late you feel bad or whatever because you've got to
And
go
the
back to work.
cycle starts all over again.
That's what I mean, like, even, like, I'd say we're pretty happy people, we're pretty lucky
Yeah.
people, like, we're pretty blessed people. Well, we're all happy and lucky and blessed, we're all blessed
Yeah.
to be living in London, in the UK, relatively, you get me? But I feel like we're pretty happy, we're pretty, like, blessed people, we're happy with what we're doing, like, but there's still that, like, we still suffer, like, we still take a fair bit of suffering from the
Yeah.
fact that, I've got to go to, like, the amount of work we have to do just to get by and fun doing what we want to do and fun basic living, and we still fucking live at home.
Yeah.
So, like, that is pretty tough. And the fact that if we wanted to live by ourselves, we would have no time. So that's, it's
Yeah.
shit.
But
It's not fair, like, well, it's not unfair, but back in, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
it's not a good system where
Yeah, it's
you
not.
have to work all hours if you want to live by yourself. That's in London, though.
Yeah.
We've got to get out of London, bro. But then if you're doing something creative, you've got to be in London.
It's a
Or in,
catch-22,
like, Manchester,
yeah.
maybe, or, like,
You need
Edinburgh,
to
like,
be in
a
a
big
major
city,
city,
but really,
yeah.
you need to be in London.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in the UK, everything.
And if you want to
happens
move
in
to
London.
somewhere countryside, even you can not near the city.
Yeah,
It's,
you need to be close.
it's a
by.
real conundrum, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, where do you want to live when you're older? Any ideas?
I don't want to live in the UK.
Trust. Oh, yeah, I hear that.
Just don't want to live in the UK.
Where would you want to bring up your kids?
I don't know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I really want to travel before I settle down and bring up
Exactly.
kids, because it seems crazy in 2018. The fact that we can travel so easily. Yeah, planes aren't great, but they're happening anyway. So while they're happening, it seems crazy. Yeah, they might not be around that long as well. We might sensible up and
Yeah.
stop all the flights soon. Like, can you imagine the outrage when we start having to do shit like that? Anyway, apocalypse chat later. But no, if it's so easy, like, why would you bring up your kids and settle down and have your life in this country when you haven't seen any of the other countries and how you could have a
Yeah.
life? Like, I've heard of, like, I don't personally, I don't want to go there because when I have been, like, around, I've met, like, some Australians that were kind of dicks and they were kind of drunk, but obviously no, like, I know some really amazing Australians as well, but I don't know, Australia's meant to be a great life. Like, people,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to work that much, you get paid really well, and you can spend, like, 4 days a week, 5 days a week chilling on the beach, surfing,
Yeah.
enjoying the world.
Yeah, one of my mates.
Sounds like a good
he did
life.
that. He was doing some. He's still traveling, I think.
Nice.
I think he went to Australia. He was just working on the farm.
Yeah, I think you have
and-
to do, like, agricultural work or
Yeah.
some sort of, like, helping work when you get there.
And he was just sleeping on a hammock.
Chilled.
Chilled, and he was just
Sounds
living life. Yeah.
But that's the thing, you can do that kind of stuff, like, relatively cheaply if you do it right. You can
Yeah.
do it for nothing if you do it right. You can, like, book a thing, like, find somewhere where you can work and stay and eat for free. And if you're someone who don't mind a relatively simple life, then you're blessed. All you're paying for is your flights and then like a little spending money. But most of those jobs, you get a little spending money.
Yeah.
And then boom, so what, you can go somewhere like that for 6 months for like a couple of hundred, like maybe 500 quid for a return flight to Australia. Oh, Australia's a bit more complicated. You have to have $5,000 to go there. There's a whole thing to it. But somewhere else where you can go relatively cheaply, get a job there, you can go away for 6 months for nothing. Like,
Yeah.
but the problem is it's hard to do when you feel like you got ties and stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, well, for me it's not. Yeah, it's like work ties, and obviously people as well. You've got good people around you, but then again, somewhere like Spain or Italy, it's doable.
Yeah.
Because it's quick flights. It's like, you can
Learn
get 20
language
quid,
as well,
20
yeah.
quid returns from Spain sometimes. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
quicker than getting to South London, mate.
Learn the language. Learn Spanish.
That's
That
what I'm
helps you even
saying.
more.
Such a motive, and for writing as well, doing
Yeah.
creative stuff, speaking other language, and for acting.
You can network so much more. So many different platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just opens your mind in a way.
But I want to get on to my, I guess, mini interview of you.
Sick. Is that a thing?
Yeah, because I have artists on the show, and then I kind of interview them. My version of it.
I'm already gassed to feel like I'm on a podcast. You call me an artist. Gassed.
But yeah, like I'll
Yeah, let's do it.
like, because like the first time I saw you on Instagram, and it was in a Ghetto Geek fucking post. You were doing some work in a school.
Probably Elsie Primary School.
I think yeah.
Like Ghetto Geek kind of used to work and brought a few of us poets into your workshop.
Okay, cool. So that's where I saw you first, and I was like, "Who's this guy? Ghetto Geek? I know this guy." I click on them. Saw you're a poet. Listened to a few things, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's dope. Follow." You
Safe
actually, I
man,
think you
love.
followed me back as well. I was like, "Ah, shit."
Did I?
Followed me back.
Good.
Yeah.
It's hard. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
Where you got to just try and, like, when someone follows you, got to try and see if it's like, first check it's a real person.
Yeah.
And if it is, like, if it's someone like creative or like they seem like they did, but then you never know because you don't want to have your flipping rate. It's all social media's bollocks. Social media's a load of bollocks.
But we need it, unfortunately, because that's the way the world
Yeah,
is moving.
trust me. Yeah.
So that's where I first saw you, and then
Thank
after
you.
that,
I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to do that.
no.
Like, I do. It's weird. It's weird. I say it's a load of bollocks, but then like, I appreciate people who take the time. Like, if someone watches something of mine, I really appreciate that. You know them ones.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
And then after that, I think I met you for the very first time at Chocolate Poetry this month,
Yes.
and I was like, oh my gosh, that's. The moment you walked in, I was just like, I know this guy from somewhere.
Yeah, and I thought we met before. I thought we met somewhere before.
And then I was like,
So I thought I recognised you as well, but it must have been through Instagram.
yeah, and then when you performed, I was like, Yossi, I know this name, Yossi. And then I looked through my stuff, I was like, I've got this guy on Instagram, yeah. This
It
guy-
is great because you connect like with other people who have similar interests and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, it can be great for that.
So I saw the before I started following you, you were just about to start the off topic sessions,
Yeah.
and then I watched them yesterday,
What,
all
all
of
of
them
them?
consecutively. Yeah.
Oh,
straight.
blimey.
Actually, no.
Really?
I watched them all today at work.
Oh, safe for that, man. That,
1, 2, 3, 4,
wow.
5, 6.
That's a lot of a cappella poetry in a row.
I was gonna listen to a number, just the recent one.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, no, fuck it.
Oh, safe for that,
And this
man.
is the whole thing, because it was like, I was reading in the description of number 6 as I was starting to listen to it. I paused it. And it said you done a European tour, but you only did go in the locations. You were in Rotterdam and somewhere in Switzerland,
Yeah.
and then you done one in North London. I think it
Yeah.
might be in Barnet.
Yeah.
But the questions this is completely off topic, but that's off topic
Off topic.
sessions, you know. But like
Bars of the day.
the questions that I had for it is like, was there a reason that you chose those poems? Is there a reason why you put them in that order? Did you write it specifically for going away, or were they? I know this is a lot of questions, but did you write it for specifically those times or that place you were gonna record it in, or was it pre-written poems?
Honestly,
Yeah.
like, honesty for the people, it, like, their poems, they were all poems that are quite dear to me.
Yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted, they're all poems that are very, very dear to me.
I felt that from all of them.
But the making of the project was quite spur of the moment.
Okay.
Like, it had been something I've been planning for a while and wanting to do in different locations, and the opportunity came up to travel. It was part, literally me and my best friend Tyler, just decided to do a little road trip. It was during Easter, and we was like, raw, for really quite cheap, we can get to Europe in the car and just drive around Europe for a bit, see what we can do, see what we got up to. And like we had the camera and the mic with us, and like we had the idea of doing these, recording some poems while we were out there and trying to make a series called Off Topic Sessions. But obviously we were still getting used to using filming and using the camera with a new mic. It was a new mic at the time, so it's we bought it for that purpose. But then like we found some cool locations, and like we had an idea of the list of poems, but obviously we had a broader list, like a few more poems, so we could find the right locations for all of them. Hence why obviously one's done in London, so we didn't find the right location. We was out trying to have a holiday as well.
Yeah.
But we found a few locations while we was travelling. We went to a few more places than that. It wasn't like a performance tour or anything. We was just travelling for a second. But we found some really nice locations along the way, and we tried to make those make the Off Topic Sessions series.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tyler for filming that. And then my other friend Elliot helped me edit like a trailer for the series.
Yeah.
Which got like quite a lot of views and made a really sick trailer. But then there was he put a little bit of music behind the trailer. The tracks were all a cappella, and so I think people got a bit more gassed off the trailer. I think the project slightly, it didn't flop, but like the trailer got bare views, and then the episodes didn't get nearly as many views.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, it is a cappella poetry. It's hard to listen to, especially with a one-shot video. Like, but well, we have attention spans, blah blah. But no, it is like I don't like. I was like, when you said you listened to all 6 in a row, I was like, wow, that's commitment. Like, I appreciate that.
But I wanted to
it's
see
hard
if
to
it was
listen
like
to that.
No. I enjoyed it because I wanted to see if it was kind of like, because I read that you done a European tour or whatever the tour you did.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see if it was part of like some sort of journey. So like from like, although like when people say I've just written a poem,
it is.
There's always a story.
It is. It's part of a much bigger journey.
Do you know the reason why I asked it is because
I understand.
I got to the one about I wrote notes.
Oh my god, man.
What was it? The ones that I loved, by the way, were number 1, Believable Media.
Safe. Can I plug the YouTube channel while
Yes,
you're doing
of
this
course
quick
you can,
time?
bro. Plug whatever you need.
Oh, madness. No, Yossi, YOSSI, Yossi spoken word. So it's just Yossi space spoken space word. It's kind of simple, but obviously a lot of people are like, how do you spell Yossi? It's YOSSI, innit? If you're listening, come on, subscribe to YouTube. It's impossible to get subscribers on YouTube. No one's got an account. Like, people like follow your Insta, do all that, but like anyone who subscribes to YouTube, that's big love, because get 1,000 and you can get into the YouTube space, start getting them benefits and that. I know. I saw today, my brother, love for that.
Another one that I loved was Pigeons.
Safe. So that's like, so you was asking about the story. Like there is story to it. I don't wanna underplay it. Like it's a project I'm very proud of. And like the story, it's called Off Topic Sessions because the piece is different. Each piece deals with a different theme, subject, or event or emotion that's maybe taken place in my life for like the last couple of years. So it's quite, it's the first, like some of the first things I've put out of the collection of stuff I've written in the last couple of years and I've written quite a lot. So it's been really hard choosing what I'm putting out. But it's kind of nice as well because I'm sitting on loads of stuff that once I'm done dealing with the stuff I'm dealing with, I can get onto.
Yeah.
But it was my first step of getting my face out there a bit, showing people what I'm doing. And I want to have on my YouTube like a range of topics so people can see that like I'm speaking about different things, like that there is some in there for everyone. I'm trying to make a living off the spoken word thing, so I'm trying to make it I'm in the process of making it a thing that's going to make me a full-time living.
Yeah, of course.
So it's about building up. I'm trying to get there and like it's coming. But so that's like an a cappella thing and it's a start and it touched on a few themes from like my life, but then like the progression is like it's all part of the journey. Obviously I've got an EP coming out later this year, which is like, well, hopefully later this year, might be next year, who knows?
Who knows, man?
Like I'm not pressuring it with a time thing, but like it's very nearly done. And it's like it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's fire.
Safe, man, safe. Yes, I can't wait to drop that, and that's gonna be like, and obviously I'm gonna drop a couple of tracks before that, leading up to it, and so people are gonna hear what I've actually been doing, which is like creating not just poems that have content, but putting them over sick instrumentals and beats that are like that they work together with interesting musicians, collaborating with other artists, collaborating with different producers.
Yeah.
Like making the EP has been the most exciting process. It's been sick, and
I like
it's not even done yet, but it's been an amazing process so far.
what other.
And like then the journey will carry on. That's
Yeah,
that's
of course.
like there's steps along the way as well. Like
So,
getting the
like,
workshops,
since
like
I've-
running more workshops
I've
is
got you
happening at the
this
same
point.
time.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but
Like,
like
talk.
I wanna
Tell me to
ask,
shut up,
like,
man. I will
no.
go on. Like I will go on, bro.
because you're talking about you're striving for your EP, you've got out your off-topic sessions. So, what poets out there inspire you
Hey,
to
sick question.
be greater or be a better poet, or
Okay,
what?
there's a few. There's a lot. You know what? It's mad. I see
Keep it to 5. If
five poets who
but,
inspire
like,
me
the-
to be better. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm on the spot now. Alright, let me think about that. I'll take my time, because you know them ones I don't want to forget now. And then like as soon as we get off air, I'll be like, that poet's sick. I can't believe I didn't say their name. They're probably not even listening, so that's fine though.
You're allowed to say 5, but there's obviously more.
Are we talking about like poets from the spoken word scene in the UK right now? Or are we talking about poets including like American poets and artists as well,
Hey,
like
man.
rappers?
Hey man,
We're talking everyone.
there's no country
Cool.
on your
Alright, cool.
creativity.
So, but we're talking poets, not rappers though.
Poets, yeah.
Is Koji Radical a poet? Like there's a whole other conversation there. Who's a poet? Who's a
There's
rapper?
guy, yeah, I'll bring it up actually.
Is Koji a rapper or a poet?
Oh, there's this guy that was on in the fucking another off topic. Sorry, but this guy that I wanted to bring it up with you. This guy, he's in the Guardian. His name is, I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's Gaika.
I need to read it on this. Let me see.
Oh,
Where am I looking?
let me open up.
Gaika.
Gaika.
Right.
And he's like, the article title says his album dropped today. It's called Basic Volume, and it says it's a gripping new voice for British rap.
All right.
And I listened to it, and do you know what? It's not. I don't think it's. I don't want to call it rap, but it's kind of like. Do you know fucking?
Is it good?
You know, it's dope. It's dope.
good,
He's,
yeah.
he's like he's got a Caribbean twang. He's from Brixton.
Okay. So,
Um,
but you don't want to call it rap,
no, it's he's got kind of this dancehall kind of vibe.
right?
Like
Is he speaking? Is it that poetry thing or?
bro, that's what it was. I went on to the. I'll show you now. Look, I went on to the information about him
Yeah.
on fucking Spotify, and he's written a poem.
What for the information
Yeah.
about him?
Yeah.
The information about him is a poem.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You know, right?
That's different.
Oh, I'm not even connected to Wi-Fi on this. Let's go for it on this one then.
What are you trying to?
Fucking loads of Spotify.
It's nice to be able to swear, man. Working in a school, you gotta like censor everything you say.
Yeah, it's peak.
Censor what you put out online as well.
Where is it? So there's information about him. It's called Immigrant Son. I really like the first couple lines. You can read it.
What, read it out loud, you mean?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
First couple.
Yeah.
First paragraph.
Gaika, and wow, no, so I'm just looking at his Spotify. This is just his description of
Yeah.
himself. Immigrant son, gangster magnetic, poet, prophet, prophetic. Can you see the tomorrow's world? Stand firm before you run out of road. Run out of breath or run out of hope. At dawn in the scrub behind a rented home. Steady your pulse, youth. Fight to your last breath. No, yeah, it sounds cool. It's cool. I'm not going to read the whole thing,
Yeah,
but it's
no,
a
that's
long poem, rah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be a spoken word as well. I was reading it slowly because I don't know it. But
Yeah.
gangster, magnetic, poet, prophet, prophetic. Can't you see tomorrow's world? Stand firm beyond you. Gangster, magnetic, poet, prophet, prophetic. Yeah, I'll try that another
the
time. Try that earlier in
alliteration,
the morning. You know, that must have the.
The alliteration on it is
I've
dope.
heard it now.
But when I found
heard
him,
that shit.
I was just like, jeez. It's sick.
Yeah,
But
no, that's
for
cool.
me, what he sounds like.
That's amazing.
Do you know MIA?
I know the name. I've heard some of their tracks, or his tracks, or her tracks.
It's her tracks.
Her
yeah,
tracks.
I can't.
I know that I see
think
the
of,
name, but I don't know.
She was on. I can't think of what song she was in. She was in a song with. Fucking Google.
But what? Right, what about her?
But the type of vibe that he has is kind of like that, but kind of a dancehall version of it.
Okay.
But she's defined as a rapper.
So is he a good artist? Is
He's
he
a
a good
dope, yeah, dope.
I'm gonna have to check him out. Gaika.
Dope. Gaika.
Is that his whole name? Just
Yeah.
Gaika.
Yeah, find him on
calm.
Spotify like that.
Calm. Yeah, I'll check him out.
But anyway, back to you. You need to name these
Oh,
artists.
Well, so is Koji a rapper or a spoken word?
I
a
believe
poet?
he is a.
He says he's a poet.
He says he's a poet.
Says he's
like,
a poet.
but
He sounds like a rapper to me.
But
slightly.
But the
Is
same.
he a poet? Like,
It's same as George the poet though.
No, George the poet sounds like he's doing poetry, not rap. Like I'm not gonna start doing
but-
my impressions of spoken word artists.
I'm not saying, but I would classify as Koji Radical as a poet.
Cool, calm. Alright, so like, again, I haven't studied his bars because I enjoy his tracks from a more musical sense than a lyrical inspiration, if that makes sense.
His videos are dope.
But no, his videos are dope. His style, like, he's got overweight. I mean, his voice is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's writing. He's very original. He's got his own style and it bangs. He makes it bang like water. I mean, all his tracks are just all his tracks are he's killing it. I really rate what he's doing. I find that really inspires me. Right, 5 poets. What am I rating them on? This is so hard.
Whatever you
Overall,
want, man.
alright,
Overall,
fine.
man. Whatever
I really
inspires
struggle
you.
with stuff because I feel like once I say it, I can't take it back. No, alright. Harry Baker,
Okay, I've never heard of him, but
without a doubt, he was.
who is Harry Baker?
Harry Baker, he's been on the spoken word scene for a bit. He's been around for ages. He did maths at uni. He's got a poem called 59, a poem called Paper People, and I've seen them on YouTube and I've seen them perform live once or twice. But like those 2 poems are like unbelievable. Poem called Paper People on YouTube. He did a TED talk. Like he's been around for a while. He won a poetry, like a global poetry competition. So I think Paper People or 59, I can't remember which one. One of those 2 poems is officially the best poem in the world, or was for a year.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Judged by 6 French strangers.
Wow.
According to 6 French strangers, as he said in the beginning of the poem. But those 2 poems are incredible. So Harry Baker, Broken Pen.
Yeah.
Like that's a more recent inspiration because like I haven't been hearing his stuff for like a long
it's fucking
time.
Amazing.
But Broken Pen's brilliant. But I need to slow down because I only got 3 more spaces. Harry Baker, Broken Pen. It's so hard picking because I'm picking from such a wide range of people. Like there's people I'm forgetting as well. Like the mad thing is I see so many sick people at open nights, and sometimes someone just drops a poem and you're like, oh shit. Like Penting.
Yeah.
You've been Penting.
I haven't been to it, but
Oh
I've met
my
the
God,
guy
I went
who
one
performed-
night.
I met the guy who runs it, and
Which one? Just five.
one of the guys. I don't know.
Which one? Yeah, two.
He's kind
they're
of
all-
tall.
Anyway,
I don't know, I
yeah.
met one of the guys.
Bow maybe. But that like that night, oh my God, like everyone on the open mic was just mad fire. Like everyone on the open mic was insane. But like Devlin, I want to say Devlin. Like he's not a poet really, but I want to say Devlin. My inspiration
man.
doesn't. My inspiration.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that was a different question. 5 poets who make me want to get better.
Yeah.
Right, Broken Pen, Harry Baker. Who do I see performing? I'm like, because I see it quite happens. It's happening more often now. Like, Joe Kaplan,
Okay.
guy, do you know him? Joe Spoke Poems.
I think yeah.
Joe Kaplan, he's really sick. There's some white boys out there doing their thing nowadays. You know, like we're doing it, bruv. There's some sick poets. I'm gonna start name. George Lawrence. He's sick. My
Fucking
guy's sick.
amazing,
Oh no, but
man.
Ben Lacey, bruv.
Fucking
Ben Lacey. Do you know Ben Lacey?
I think so.
Bruv, that guy's like a torrent. Like, alright. So, right, I can narrow this shit down. Right, we're starting again. Ben Lacey makes me want to up my writing game. Ben Lacey.
I think it's the guy.
Ben Lacey, the brand. Shout out my bro. He's sick. Ben Lacey, the brand. Christian Foley.
Okay.
Christian Foley.
I'm gonna just check these people out after.
You don't know who Christian Foley is?
No, I don't think so. But
For me, I aspire to be like Christian Foley and Ghetto Geeks. So, but anyway, Christian Foley is Christian Foley. Ben Lacey. George Lawrence. It's gonna go over 5. Broken Pen. Joe Spoke Poems. And then like, there's also people like Nego True and Silly Break. Like Nego's an inspiration. That's more on a personal level.
Yeah.
Like,
So
but like bars, like poetry wise, them people that I've said, like if you're into poetry, check them out. Harry Baker's unbelievable as well. Harry Baker. Yeah, man. There's so many sick poets, bro.
Yeah.
I'm probably like Tremendous. Tremendous is sick. Gotta say,
fucking amazing
can't not
she
say
is.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
She's sick as well. Like, but then like I feel like people like Samuel King. He's my brother. Like, shout out to him. He's my bro. But like I've only seen him perform like a few poems. Like, I feel like he's probably got a wealth of material I've never heard.
Yeah.
So I can't. So I'm not like. Do you know what I mean? So I can't say.
Yeah, of
Even
course.
with Broken Pen, like I'm sure he's got bare stuff I've never heard. Like
Yeah.
me and him have been waiting to have a sit down. Like we have, but Ghetto Geek's sick as well. Like
Yes, indeed.
I don't just want to shout out my brothers, but some of my brothers are sick.
Yeah.
Our brothers are sick. Like the whole spoken word scene's popping. Like it's really exciting thing to be part of.
It
Because
really
that's the
is.
thing. I go to open mics and I swear to God, every time without fail, I'll see people. I'm like, you're better than the people who are making money off spoken word right now. So the scene's exciting.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kate Tempest. She comes above all of them still. She just does all of them. Like she's one of my biggest inspirations with spoken word. Kate Tempest is like unreal. And there's a couple other poets on the Spotify spoken word playlist who are banging. I don't know if you've listened to that playlist.
I haven't yet, no.
Joshua Luke Smith. I remember he's cool. Wow, there's so many. I could talk about it all day. There's so many sick poets.
What
I
else?
flopped mine down to 5, but I mentioned
that
that there's
is
a lot
cool,
of good
man.
poets.
Sometimes
pick.
you have to go off topic.
There's some crazy poets, man. Like Ben Lacey's flow, like for flow, that he just blows my mind every time. But then lyrics would be like wordplay, like Christian Foley blows my mind. Everyone's got their own thing. Like then content, George Lawrence gets it into that passion. Like,
Yeah.
but then like I mean Ismail Musoke, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I haven't seen him in
he's
a
on
while.
The Bill with You Tomorrow?
No, that's Jamal Khan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ismail used to go Poetic Unity. He got a book out a while ago. Like he's sick. He always inspired me to get better. There's loads and loads of people who do so many sick poets. Glitch. She inspires me to get better. AJ King. He's young, but he's sick. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I think I have heard.
He's got bars. Like again, though, it's not like he's got material online you can listen to. But like I've seen him perform. I don't think he might do actually. I might be chatting shit. He might do. But like I've seen him perform and he's bang. Like he kills it every time. Oh, Magiro. Oh, is it Magiro? I always forget that's Magiro. You know Magiro? Magiro's sick. He's a word. He's actually got to be in the top 5. Magiro is so sick. That's why I didn't want to do this because I'm going to be remembering people for the rest of the night now, and they're not going to get in the podcast. But it's fine. Moving on.
There was this guy that you didn't see perform because he didn't perform on that night that you came down. But
what event? Chocolate?
The chocolate poetry one. I had a crazy night with him afterwards. It started with like literally everyone left.
Okay, tear up Camden.
No. Everyone left, and like literally all I wanted to do is like just take my walk to the train station, have a little smoke up, you know.
Go home, chill.
Go home and chill. But he was just like, I don't know about you, but like, I fancy a one last drink in it. And I was just like, well, I looked at the time, it was 10:30. I was like, yeah, I could go for one last drink.
I dipped out there at 9 last time.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, I could go for one last drink. Went for that one last drink, went into the bar was closing down, they weren't doing proper drinks, they could only do shots. So we got some sort of shot of tequila. We hit that shot and then like we left that bar and he was just like, I don't know about you, but it didn't really hit me right. How do you feel?
How'd you feel about another one? Is this guy moving to you?
No,
it's just chatting.
We were just chilling.
Nice.
He runs a hip hop event. Like,
sick.
The reason why I was speaking about it is because when we went outside, Broken Pen was freestyling. And then when Broken Pen...
I missed this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gutted.
When Broken Pen stopped,
He's sick.
like, this guy, Krish, he literally picked up from where Broken Pen finished on the freestyle. And, like, he literally fucked up because he was doing something with the M's and he was like, I can't continue. So we were like, bro, forget that, fam. Just flow. And, like, literally, he dropped a freestyle off the top and it
Good
was...
one.
The hardest thing I've heard in a very long while, and he was talking about real shit, and I was like, bro, if that's off the top, and he was literally the rest of the night we were chilling. I was playing him beats, he was freestyling and shit. I was like, bro, you're dope. But
I weren't trying to cuss him when I made that probably slightly homophobic joke before. I don't know, that wasn't meant to be homophobic, but
nah, it sounded like it, right?
Shit, man. But political correctness nowadays is like. Political correctness nowadays is mad. You gotta be careful what you say on the internet.
You do indeed.
Everything's out there forever. It's scary. Bro, everything we said tonight could be out on the internet forever.
It
Dun,
will be,
dun, dun.
unfortunately. Where would you like to take your poetry?
Global.
Is that in a sense of
No, in a sense.
books? Do you want to do?
Yeah, no, I wanna. So many things. I wanna like. I want people to hear my message. I want people to be able to hear what I'm saying and connect with it and understand what motivates me to write, which is the things I'm writing about. So essentially to understand what my poems are about and to connect with them and to find help or meaning in them in the same way I have from people like Eminem. And I want to take it to, I want to also like change the way we look at music. I want to open like the door for people who aren't road or cool, for the people of us who are somewhere in the middle between being road and posh or road and cool, to be able to be musicians. And like, this is speaking on a very personal level now, but like to like, regardless of how your voice is, be able to be a musician, for example. But then also like I want to change the way, I want to create music which has content. I want to create like very many different genres of music. That's why I said on the EP I'm collaborating with loads of different musicians and different artists, but it's all my lyrics. And like it's mostly me doing spoken word, but there's a few singers on that, but it's all my lyrics. And I want to take that further by working with musicians, like jazz musicians who put their meaning into their playing and stuff, and create music which is like a new kind of incredible blend of instrumentation and words which you can listen to in the car on the motorway and bang and love, but you can also be inspired by it or take inspiration or like follow a story from it or get meaning from it. Or I want to make people change the world. I want to inspire people to change the world. I want to change the world through inspiring others to change the world.
That's how it starts.
That's what I want to do. Really, obviously, like that's
an amazing answer, man.
that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. All of that, like really. Also, but the other thing is, I want to fucking not have to do anything else for a living.
Yeah.
Well, acting's calm, but do you know them ones? They're the goals, really. Like,
of course.
But no, I mean, like, I want to have an impact, man. Like Prince EA. See, you know who that guy is?
Prince EA.
He's like an American spoken word artist. He gets like over 10 million views on every one of his videos now.
I think I have seen.
He's humongous, and he's all right. But like, he might be he's a sick artist. He's done his thing, but like he's given across like fairly simple, like obvious messages that people need to hear, and he's doing it eloquently through kind of poetry and nice videos. He's gone viral, huge.
Oh shit.
Huge, absolutely huge. And like people are taking positive inspiration from that, and like I want to do it in a more, but I don't feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't listen to him over and over again anyway. Maybe people who are looking for them positive messages in that format can, but for people who want to listen to music and get that message, like that's what I want. Because like I've always grown up with rap and I love rap music, but it drives me insane because a lot of it's just so shit lyrically. And I've got nothing more like gangs and shit, like talk about what's real to you, but some of it's just appalling. A lot of it is just crap. Lyrically, it's just dead. It's not poetry, it's not clever.
It's they copy whatever's popping. So like
Totally.
this guy talking like this is popping, so I'm gonna do exactly that, and I'm gonna blow on the same vibe that he's made, and then once they've got there, it's just like, so what you doing now? Like, oh, you mean the next song, and then the next song sounds the same.
I hope it's not true, but but obviously music progresses. I hope it's not true. I just had like a pre like vision though of like maybe lyrics will just be like it will all be, lyrics might go pretty soon. Really and truly, look at the way it's going. We'll realise soon, because what's coming in, like it goes in stages. It was rock and that for what I don't know the music history too well, but like now it was kind of grime hit, but it's becoming. In the UK, it's becoming Afro beats, like that kind of stuff.
It's coming back,
but we're realising that it's all about the instrumentals. That's what's happening. That people are slowly, like no one listens to J Hus for J Hus. Everyone listens to it for the producer, right? Like J Hus is good. He's sick. I love his music. But and all the whole rap UK playlist on Spotify, which is, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I bang it. I bang that playlist out, and then I'm ashamed to admit it because lyrically some of it is so poor. However, the beats all bang, and they all kind of sound the same, and it's just that auto-tune singing on beats. Like, I don't want to cuss notes, but actually I do want to cuss him because we had a bit of Twitter beef years ago. But like, it's all done.
I don't want to.
Music's shit, man. So much music is lyrically poor. That's why I want to take the poetry. I want to make music that people want to listen to because it's as nice to jam to, as vibesy as like Alt J or as vibesy as Skepta.
Yeah.
But it's got content. That's what
Yeah.
I want to take this poetry thing. And that's what's happening when I drop an EP later this year. So check that out, boy. It's going to be mad. It's going to be mad.
What else did I want to ask you? I want to talk about, like, you've been doing work in schools, like workshops and stuff.
Yeah.
So what kind of work have you been doing with the children? Like,
Oh man, I'm glad you asked me that. That's my real passion. I think maybe even more so than the performing and that. But obviously, it's a good way to get a message across to many people.
Yeah.
And then by getting the performance, you get the platform to do more workshops.
Exactly.
I love working with young people. I've always enjoyed working like with young people. Like from when I was a little kid, I went to Chicken Shed Theatre Company in North London, which is an incredible inclusive theatre company.
Okay.
That like welcomes people of all abilities and all backgrounds and gives them a home and like lets them make theatre and be part of this company that produces incredible professional level theatre sometimes, as well as youth theatre and children's theatre. And from then, like basically the way they run it, like you become a group leader. Like once you've done Children's Theatre 1, which is like 5 to 7s, you go into Children's Theatre 2 and you get the option of being a leader for Children's Theatre 1 once a week. And so I was always doing that from when I was young, and I absolutely enjoyed that. Like that was with theatre kind of. I started doing that when I was like 8 years old. So. And I'm 22 now, and like ever since then, I've always been doing something in some form, working with young people. That's like 14 years. And this is why I had to leave the school, because they was like, you've been here 5 minutes. I was like, I know what it's like to be a young person today. I can work with, like, I've got experience working with young people. Honestly, like, I know how young people work. Like, we need to get on their level. We need to stop being twats to them, essentially. It's basic stuff. But, so I've always enjoyed working with young people on creative stuff, like creating theatre with young people, like, and just like encouraging them to talk. And like, because that was what being a group leader was about. You were just facilitating their ideas and their creativity. And I think that is like a really important thing to do for young people. It's not done enough for young people.
It's not,
and
it's
so
like
now I do it
about.
through spoken word, which I love even more in a way, because it enables me to, what I like think, and I'm pretty sure this does what happens. I get feedback and I see kids developing and progressing, and like I like to encourage young people to connect with important issues socially and globally. But to do that, to get young people to engage, you've got to be on their level. So you don't have you've got to start by saying what's important to you, as well as saying this is what's important to me. We talk about it. Like for example, I mean, to me, like I try and get either some of the themes that we discuss in workshops are stuff like social media, health, mental health, the environment, politics, education, things like that, kind of quite broad issues, but that are social issues that might be applicable to them, like race, equality, that like sexuality, all those sort of kind of quite general PSHE type issues. But I talk about them in a realistic way, because in schools they're not honest with kids, and kids know a lot more than we think nowadays, and you've got to ask them the question, and you've got to ask them it in a way that they can respond honestly. So they might go, yeah, I know this and this and this and this is what I think about this. And then you just say, okay, cool. So like the way you start with, like, if you're writing spoken word poetry, I always have discussion and like games as part of the workshop to build a bit of trust in the room, create a safe space. And obviously it depends, the content depends how long the workshop is. I was running a spoken word lunchtime club, which was 35 minutes or like half an hour essentially, this club, 25 if people turned up late. So that was like crazy. That was like, right, here's some picture stimuluses, 10 minutes discussion, boom, right, 5 minutes of writing, 5 minutes of sharing. That was crazy. Yeah. But even in that, running, like, oh my God, the development of these kids in that such short time. It's about promoting positive communication. So in the discussion element, like, obviously, you don't need to put your hand up, but people listen to each other and they speak positively, and it's reiterated that you listen to everyone and you, like, it's okay to discuss things as long as you're doing it in an open, friendly way, and you listen to everyone. People might have different opinions, and you teach them that, and then you try and get them discussing topics which are important and relevant to them, like, for example, technology, stuff like that, social media, staying healthy on social media, like, and it's interesting because they know, like, kids know already, they're like, this shit's really unhealthy, like, we know it's bad, we shouldn't use this. I actually feel shit when I look on Instagram for half an hour. It happens to me, but I can't stop looking at it. Yeah. And when you hear a 12-year-old saying that, you're like, shit, there's a problem, nah? Yeah. But then you get them to write amazing poetry about it. Basically, like, it's simply, like, that's the long and the no, there's more to it. You have discussion, whatever, and you get them talking openly, and then you go, cool, so, like, out of everything we've spoken about, if there's something that you feel passionately about, something that you either like or dislike, that you want to, if there's something that you've learned that you think you could give other people a positive, inspirational message about, that's what you write your poem about. Or if there's something that you feel people need to be educated about and we need to stop doing, or something that worries you, write about that. Or if there's something that you've made you laugh or that you like or that scares you, write about that. And most people, after having a bit of discussion about some basic issues, will find those things, and then more time people just go off and write. And sometimes people need the confidence boot, like you say, what's your first line? Sometimes you can use basic sentence starters, which is a technique, but some people don't, like a lot of people don't need that. They just need, listen, what do you want to say? If you had a platform, you're standing in front of an audience, what would you want to say to them on this topic? And normally people know what they want to say, so they'll say the first line, and then you go, cool, say it again out loud, right, what would sound nice after that, and continues what you're trying to say. And that's all there is to writing. And all I do is show people that, and like, but I fucking love it. It's amazing. Like,
no, it sounds like
it's so sick, man. Kids, like, young people and adults come out with the most amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Shout me, I'm available for bookings and that, innit? No, but it's amazing. It's like, there's nothing I love more. Like, and when you hear young people talking about the world, I want to inspire young people to be leaders who will go on to make change, positive change in our world. And you see that happening when you teach them to write poetry. Like, some of the 12-year-old kids I've worked with come out with the most amazing stuff, like inspiring other young people to be happy with their body image and not take stupid stuff from social media, or like talking about health and like physical health and like stuff like that, or like anything, like talking about football and Fortnite. But sometimes that's what they need to, like mental health, and some boys have written poems like connecting Fortnite and mental health. But like the question I asked openly was, is there a link between video games and music and violence? And like they gave both sides of it, and they were just discussing it healthily, and they write sick bars. Some of these 12-year-old, bro, some of these, you're laughing like, but because you know I'm serious, innit? Some of these 12-year-olds got fire, fam!
They got no fucks at this point, innit?
And the school, like, there's a quote, like, school kills off your creativity. Like, everyone's born creative as a child, and inspirational. You go to school, it kills it off, and then you pay to go to art school and get it back.
Yeah.
But, like, kids have, bro, some of these kids, like, shout out to the kids in my spoken word poetry club at school if anyone listens to this from there. I doubt they will. Or I doubt they get this far in, but no, like, wow, like, I've been blown off my feet by the flows of these 12-year-olds. They've got, like, wordplay, flows, and content. And I'm like, and they've made me want to work harder. They've been, like, sometimes I hear them and I'm like, wow, I need to work harder. Because you're 12 and you're hitting this. But, like, nurture the youth, find out what their passions are, and encourage them to follow it. Often, spoken word club, I'll have a kid who's got no interest in poetry. First of all, you explain that poetry, that you show them that it's kind of more like rap and it's cool.
Yeah.
And once you get over that barrier, the next step is to go, listen, cool, what are you interested in? Write about that. Write about your love for free running, whatever it is. And then you go, cool. And write a story about how you're going to get to that end journey. If you want to be that, you can. Kids just need some positivity and encouragement instead of negativity. It's really fucking simple.
Yeah, it's true. But we don't like to.
It's really fucking simple. Like, that's the thing, that's the dumb thing. I love doing my workshops. Like, they're really fucking simple. The principles are not that complicated. Like, it's not. It's just to be positive, treat people nicely. Like, man.
If only we lived
Education
in this simple
system's
world,
dead,
you know.
Yeah. I'm sure we've gone off topic.
You said, I think I remember you said when I met you outside of Chocolate Poetry, you done some acting. So is it just, what kind of acting work have you done so far?
The coolest, I did, I haven't done any like acting work in a few months now because I've been working at the secondary school and I left my agent, stopped auditioning.
Yeah.
But when I was acting, I did loads of cool stuff at Chicken Shed growing up. I played young Stalin in like a proper professional studio theatre production there when I was young. That was cool. And then I got into National Youth Theatre when I was a bit younger. I went to uni for a year. I went to drama school for a year, which was sick. Did a foundation degree, which I saved up for with money that I got for an opera I did when I was 17. I was in Death in Venice at the Colosseum and then on tour in Amsterdam at the English National Opera. So when I was like 16, I was like, right, I'm joining an acting agent. I want to be a professional actor. And I've been doing like kind of like youth theatre for a while and that. And I found an agent. Luckily, I joined I managed to get in. It was like I practiced. I got in, thankfully, and I was auditioning for a few things, and I got this thing. But you know what? It was not even an acting job. It was a ballet job. This was the maddest thing, and I got it. Yeah, like oh god, it's a mad. You can get it on DVD, and you can see the one out of the 8 people who ain't got the straight leg. Like that's me, boy. Classic. But so like the audition was like, oh, we're looking for actors who can move, ballet dancers. Like professional ballet dancers, actors who can move, professional gymnasts, and street dancers. Cool. I'm an actor who can move, and I'm professional physical theatre practitioners.
Yeah.
And physical theatre is my thing. So I was like, cool. I went for the audition, and it was like there were a few other people who weren't trained dancers, but most people were trained ballet dancers. And by like the recall, it was just me and trained ballet dancers. And there was like another recall, and it was just me and these trained ballet dancers. And somehow like they were like, yeah, you've got like they want they want you in it. And I like, I think they maybe spoke to me at like the last recall, and the director was like, look, we know you're not a ballet dancer, and everyone else is, but basically the director liked that fact that I was acting. In the auditions, I came out of one of those auditions so bruised up, but it got me the job. It got me my first ever acting job, so I was gassed. But I came out of that audition like deaded, because I was like pretending I could do all these like dive rolls and stuff I couldn't really do. I swear to God, I did a dive roll. I'd never done a dive roll before successfully, and like I banged them out like through this guy's legs. I was pretending I could do all this stuff I couldn't do. Nearly did like a flip.
Fully committed. That's
I committed to it. I was like, I'm getting this shit. And because I was trying to be a physical, but I was acting while I was doing all this, and the director was like me, like I gave it so much, he was like, yeah, I want him in it. So I ended up like doing like however long, couple months rehearsals, and then like a month's run, or like the Coliseum in Amsterdam, with these professional ballet dancers and like a professional ballet choreographer and shit. It was incredible. I got really flexible. I learned a bit of ballet for a while. Like I never became like really any good.
Yeah.
But like I was good enough to do like the choreography and get on with the show. Yeah, and like I didn't stand out that much in the end, and I must have stood out to being the only person who was actually acting as well. So that was an amazing experience. That got me into it. And then I went RADA, and then came out, worked behind the bar for a couple months, and then I got a show called Lord of the Flies. And I'd done that with Regent's Park Open Air Theatre, which was like a madness. And that was like a taste of what it is to be like a proper professional actor, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was like an 9-month job. We were in Regent's Park Open Air Theatre in London for a while, and then we went on tour around the UK and Ireland for like 7 months, like 22 cities, like week in each city. It was unbelievable. Hard work. It was actually like it was a weird experience. And I don't want to be an actor full time. Like it's not something I want to do for my whole life. Definitely not. But it's something I do want to do sometimes because it's great fun.
Yeah.
But it's a weird one. You've got to be pretty like you've got to have a bit of a complex, I think.
Yeah.
Or doing touring shows anyway is like hard work. Like I've never worked so hard in my life.
Draining.
At the beginning, it was an 8-month tour. First 4 months, I was so happy. I thought I'd made it. I was so gassed. Like we had fangirls and stuff. It was jokes. One time I come out stage door, there were like 30 girls, like I was school class, like Yossi. It was hysterical. It was mental. I thought I'd made it, brother. I was living. It was brilliant. It was great fun. I was getting paid nicely, and it was my dream come true to be in a professional show. Like I'd gone to the theatre so much as a kid.
Yeah.
Like proper professional. And I'd been in youth theatre loads, and it was nearly professional. And like I was in a proper professional show, and it was amazing. I'm still proud of getting there. Like that I've done that, had that experience. It was unreal. Like proper big budget production. We had fire on stage and shit. We had half an airplane on stage. Like I don't know if you know the story of Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
It was a madness. Physical fitness. It was insane. Got to work with like these incredible people. Like it was sick. But the second half of the tour, we all fucking hated it. Because we'd done like the show like 200 times and our bodies were wrecked.
Yeah.
We was doing it over 5 days a week. So you'd have 1 day travelling each week, 1 day off each week, and then 5 days you'd be at 5 days you'd be at the theatre doing 8 shows and a dress rehearsal. So it's basically 2 shows a day except for the Friday where you done 1. And doing 2 physical theatre shows a day was like mental. Like we all got ripped by the end of it. Like, and that's why we had the schoolgirls, because there were scenes where they've got their kit off in the second half. But like we got painted twice a day for like it was grueling. It was actually grueling. And by the end of it, like kind of just stopped being fun because we'd done it so much, and obviously none of us were that level of professional actor that we were fully Meisnering it and it being fresh every time.
Yeah.
Because I kind of killed some of my dreams about like, acting as a craft. It's not. It is a craft, but like I don't know, like everyone else was more experienced than me, and by the last show we were taking the piss, and the audience had no idea. They thought it was just as good, but like we were playing pranks on each other and shit like on stage.
But I mean, that's what it's meant to be, man. You're meant to be so comfortable with your cast that you can.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
No,
fuck
exactly.
And still put on an amazing show.
That was awesome. That was a great experience. And I met some really cool people. And then last year I did a show called The Midnight Gang by David Walliams.
I have heard of David Walliams.
Which was like a kids book, yeah. It was at Chicken Shed Theatre, but like I went back in kind of as an adult, like professional to do it. Which was really nice to go back somewhere grown up not working, to go back there and work was nice. And then David Walliams was there for some of the process and that, and I played the main part, Tom, as a kid in a pink dress in a hospital. It's like a kids show, but that was really fun. And I've done like some short films and shit. Done a couple of things, like done one thing with London Film School, or BFI, British Film Institute. Yeah. London Film LFI, is that a thing?
Possibly.
No, London Film School.
London Film School.
And yeah, I haven't been in any movies or any TV shows, sadly.
Not yet.
Not yet, no, exactly. We're getting there though. I've been in some short films. I've created some of my own short films as well, which is fun. I really like directing. Like, I create like spoken word videos and that for other poets and that, which is really fun.
That's pretty cool.
It's really fun doing that. I like it.
I want to embark on directing kind of soon.
Do it, man. Do it.
It's just because
we'll
it'll be
get
like
to doing some work.
it's like
we'll
a
create some
different
stuff together, man.
Definitely, because is it like a different? It's different than I don't want to act at all in that piece because I feel like that would be way too much trying to control actors and act in it as well.
Bro, trust me, it's a struggle I go through with making videos for the spoken word. Like, obviously, like the levels going up, like, so don't worry in it. Like, check out mental health on my YouTube channel. And like the levels going up. That's, I'd say, like, for me, that's when my highest standard of videos so far, like, as an overall product.
Yeah.
And the levels just going up. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen any of those other ones. I just watched the topic sessions.
So that's like a proper, like, it looks like you could see on SB kind of thing. Like, it's got to be, and it's like nicely done. And I made that on no budget, so it's doable.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I don't know. It's a lot like trying to film and be in something. That's not really. It's like it's hard. I tried it. It's long.
Yeah.
It's long. Like, it's just not the one and you can't. Then you're filming half of it with your hands and someone else's hands filming you.
Yeah.
And I struggle with it because I want to film my own poetry videos, but they can't. Like, some of them need a couple shots of me in. But then if I get someone else to film me and they're not very good at filming, it's flipping long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I could film this amazing video if I could film myself. But I can't, so I'm trying to use actors and create stories with other people. And I love collaboration. Like, collaborating with people at the moment is so, like, that's the best thing. Like, and that's the great thing about social media as well. Like, I have collaborated with people I've met through social media. Like, I guess I've met them all at some point naturally in person and then gone on with it. So I don't feel weird about it.
Yeah.
Because to me, there's still, like, changing subject totally, but fucking Tinder and shit, like, all my mates are on Tinder, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, to me, it's like a thing, I don't know, like, no, don't get it twisted, I downloaded it and deleted it a couple of times, like, I'm down with it, I get the idea, like, but, for me, the connotations of a dating, online dating, is that not what, like, 50-year-olds did back in the day? You couldn't get no one, like, why can't we meet people in person?
I don't know, because everything's online, so we're just trying to make life easier for ourselves. Why do we we don't need to go out there and meet people when we can just sit there on our phone and just find it. Oh, she's nice. Oh, I don't like that one, swipe left.
Yeah. it's just a bit upsetting.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, but and then like I said, I downloaded it and then deleted it. I downloaded it and thought better of it. I was just like, oh yeah, fuck it, everyone's going on about a nice way to meet girls. Like, it's hard to meet people nowadays if you're not in uni or not in school. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You work with a small group of people. It's because we don't live naturally.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, like, the connotations are like, that was something like old people who were past it did. Back in the day. Do you remember that when we was kids? Like, are you using an online dating app, kid? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up.
No. That's when it kind of came out in, like, it came out just like the internet.
Came out in like the 70s.
Yeah, something like that.
Because there's no Only Fools has it. There's another reference to it in Only Fools and Horses. That's one of my favourites. That's one of the TV shows I do watch.
Black Mirror, I think it was in an episode.
Black Mirror. Yeah. Black Mirror's mad.
Black Mirror is dope.
I haven't seen all of it. I'm in the first series where he fucks the pig. Like,
yeah. But it's true though. If that was to happen, we have no defense.
Whoa, have you heard of the Riot Club and all that? Like, they did like the what's the club called? The club at Eton that all the prime ministers and that David Cameron was part of. They're part of that. They have to put their, like, fuck a pig's head. That's part of the initiation. Like, it's not random.
Oh shit.
And that's like fact. Like, I'm not saying that's not like a exaggeration. Like, one of the initial. What's the club called? Not Burlingtons. It's something like that. It's some posh word. But you can research it. I think it was at Eton and probably at Harrow. Like, they have those clubs and, like, it's like the poshest of the posh. Like, the future Conservative leaders essentially. Like, Boris Johnson and David Cameron were both in this club, and it's a real club. And they used to go out and they'd, like, get hookers to these, like, ridiculously expensive restaurants, like, do, like, loads of cocaine, like, ridiculously just extravagant shit for the sake of being extravagant. They'd trash restaurants and then say, well, here's 50 grand cash, deal with it, it's fine. Like leaving prostitutes, like, not dead in restaurants, that might be, maybe that's an example, but, like, leaving, like, placed in bad states, leaving prostitutes, like, ill, not treating them right, like, what was it? Burlingtons? I don't know why I'm saying Burlingtons. That might not be the wrong word. Check it. If you can. The book, the play was. I can't remember if the play was The Riot Club and the book was something else, or the film was The Riot Club and the book was something else. If you type in The Riot Club, it will come up. But either way, they were both in this club, and I'm pretty sure part of the initiation's like fucking a dead pig's skull or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, fuck the heads of dead pigs, but him in the hoodie with a couple of spliffs, Dale him, he's the criminal. That's Kate Tempest bar. Yeah, they shag kids and fuck the heads of dead pigs, but him in the hoodie with a couple of spliffs, blame him, he's the criminal. Jail him, he's the criminal. It's the bored of it all generation, the product placement. I mean, Kate Tempest is so sick. Europe is Lost is such a banger. Like that's my favourite fucking song. That one of them, you know.
Second World War by Scottish Unionists. MP. The Riot Club.
Yeah, what's the
Is formation. The group was formed in May 1939 when Archibald Ramsey.
Oh, it's based on the play's called Posh. Sorry, keep talking. I totally interrupted
When
you.
Archibald Ramsey decided that the British Conservative Party needed to rid itself of perceived Jewish control, because it is
Right.
basically it's a small group of anti-Semitic and fascist sympathists regarding within the British establishment. It was formed a few months before the Second World War.
The Bullingdon Club is what it's based on. So Posh is a play by the British playwright Laura Wade. Its first staged at the Royal Court Theatre downstairs in 2010. Playing concerns an Oxford student dining club called the Riot Club, fictionalised version of the Bullingdon Club. That's what it's called. So the Bullingdon Club is the thing that David Cameron and Boris Johnson were both part of.
Okay.
And like that's just ridiculous. We let them people run our country.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I guess the last question I have for you is, what advice do you have for upcoming poets or performers that want to follow this and they're just maybe not sure?
Right, I'm an upcoming poet.
I know, that's why you
yeah,
give
no,
the best
yeah, okay,
advice.
sick. Like if you want, like if you like writing and you've got bars and you want to do it, like if you want to be a spoken word artist, do it. Like it's the perfect time to try and do it. Like jump on the bandwagon. Like come get me, write something. Like challenge me, come. Yeah. But no, because literally like it's really easy to do now. If you've got bars, all you got to do is find someone who's got go to poetry nights. There's loads of great poetry nights all around London. Like I could recommend a few, but people can do their research. Like. Follow us on social media like me and Corey and look who we're following, look at the interaction, like it's you see the poetry nights if you look for them.
Poetry is dope.
Poetry's everywhere, there's spoken word everywhere, there's like a night every week now.
Yeah,
go to a poetry night, perform a little bit. If you're good, people recognise you. If you're not, go to some workshops, keep like practice, get better.
Yeah.
Boom, like and then I don't know, if you're trying to take it far, like I'd say find a sound, like mix it with music. Don't just do it a cappella. Create your own sound, put it out there, promote it, just get on social media, show people what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you can start off small. You find like someone who's got a home studio where you can record that, and find someone who's producing. Collaborate with other creatives. Go to events.
Yeah.
Like
Network.
go to events. Talk to people, and appreciate other people. Like see what other people are doing, and do favors for other people as well. Like offer if there's something you can do to help someone else, offer it to them, and it'll come back to you. Like that's how I've like. I'm gassed. Like I've built up a network of people, like videographers, photographers, musicians, like creatives, all these different poets, all these different people who do their own thing, and we all work together in different ways. Like, and it's not like nothing official, but people are there, man. Like people will support you. I mean, like shout out to Annotate. My mum messaged me on Instagram today, like supporting me with what I'm doing. Like I've been following him from before, like I was even doing spoken word, Like I like seeing what he's doing. He's like someone who I've seen as being out there, and he took the time just to shout at me and be like, "Yo, like same as people like Nego True, Ghetto Geek. They've taken the time to bring me through. Like, it's such a supportive scene. Like, oh my days, like there's people chat to people. People support you. People will give you guidance, and like share skills. There's so much exciting creative work to get done. Make a project. Think of something new. If it can help people, that's amazing. If it's just going to be a fun creative project for you, if it's something no one else has done, fucking do it. Like, regardless, mix art forms, there's so much to be done creatively.
True.
And creativity can change the world.
It really can.
Like, yeah.
Okay, man.
And I'll finish on some bad grammar, just go like, yeah. But you've got to make it relatable. That's why I say like and yeah. Because I grew up in like the normal fucking like, it's how we grew up. It's how we grew up in it. It's our influences, our environment.
And we can end it here, or it's up to you if you want. Do you want? We can end.
I'm
it
thinking about the people. Like, we've been going for 2 hours 20 minutes. Do you think people want to hear us any longer? Like, I'm really enjoying this.
I just wanted to do the last segment.
Yeah, I've got no worries doing that. I'm happy to do that. So I'd love to. Thank you. If anyone's listened to this point, thank you. Like, wow. Like, I don't know. I think that's amazing. Like, I appreciate that. So we value our opinions like that much. Like,
hey man.
But it's cool. Like, it's interesting hearing people's conversations. Like, I've been enjoying listening to some podcasts. I hope you found this interesting.
Like,
I've had a great fascinating time.
This, yeah. So I've done this one time before.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous for this. What's gonna?
I'm just gonna. It's called setting the scene.
Are we like? Is it like a freestyling thing, or is it more acting, improv kind of thing?
I mean, however it
see where it goes.
So, yeah.
All right. Cool.
So let's go for a melody. What's the sound on this thing? Oh, there is too much.
Is that recording and playing music?
It is, yeah.
Mad. Can't do that on the phones. Oi. Did you make this beat?
Just making it now, man.
You're making it now?
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, uh-huh. Right, I don't know if we've started yet, but I'd just like to pre-veterinarily something meditate the scene and prepare you for what you're about to see. This is me and Corey. My name's Yossi, you know KO to the RY. We both got a Y in our names, which is why we're questioning life and going insane, deliberating through these membranes. I don't even know if I'm on beat. I was just going to introduce you to this section of the show. Corey's looking at me like, yo, where is this going to fucking go? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Who knows? Welcome to Setting the Scene.
Setting the Scene, man. That was a really great inspirational speech that you gave for him, Yoshi. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, man.
I thought that was like bad freestyle attempt.
Don't appreciate yourself.
Come on.
Hey man, that was dope, man. I really appreciate it. Like, it really inspired me in ways that, I'm gonna try and freestyle. I don't know what.
I was gonna say, if you like that, I will openly admit that I'm crap and encourage you to have a go, because you might find a flow. And we don't have to pretend to sound cool.
I mean, I don't know. I can't really rhyme, speak in time, keep going and going like this is my line, but whose line is it anyway?
Hey, whose line is it anyway? That's the game show thingy, right? On Dave on a Friday night, and I don't think you'll catch that on BBC or 5 because Dave bought all the rights. And what an amazing show it's been. I want to recap on the things we've talked about and seen. See, me and Corey have been on this journey, which if you guys have listened to, that's really fucking kind of you, and I feel humbled by that. But this isn't no mumble rap, so I should try and stay on topic and speak with some logic and reflect on what we've talked about. We looked at the news, and somehow all around the world it's like people have got bad shit to prove. It's like we're all fighting for a cause we might not necessarily believe in, but it's cool as long as we can sit back with a spliff of an evening. Don't know, the world's fucked though, innit?
The world is crazy, man. Like,
but positivity and rhyme can help you get through hard times.
Yeah, man. Time's always ticking. It's always on the go. It never stops. But who do we know? But how do we know? Maybe it stops when we die, but then it just continues, you know?
That's the thing about time. We don't really understand it. It might not even exist. It's just a concept we created. This shit is kind of delirious. It can set your mind into a delirium, trying to follow time like dee-dum, dee-dum. No, I'm not Shakespeare, but I'll still try and shape this sphere when I Split a world in half with my laughing bars, and I carve a pack of cards in half with a heart and a bar and a better bar. Time. Time is of the essence. Time is always there. Constantly moving, always still. In existence, but visible only to our communal belief. Unless you look at it in a circle, but a watch can give me an urkel, like a watchful eye. You don't want to be watching my grind. So out of this podcast we're gonna ride on my size 9s. You know, we're chilling on a vibe, getting back, getting high.
Hey man.
Come on, got some bars there. Corey's gonna bar out.
See, I don't usually do this spitting off the top. Don't really have words, but it's gonna drop anyway. Somehow I'm gonna say what I have to say. It's gonna come out in ways that I'm not really thinking about. I'm just an orifice
Hey. Go on,
for
man.
motivation. I'm just trying to motivate you and inspire you to be great. See, I just want to see greatness.
See, I just want to see greatness. I'm an orifice for motivation. Fuck all the pagans. I try not to say this stupid shit, but when you jump on a beat, it's like, why not? When you step outside right now, it is quite hot. And that made more sense than this shit. But yeah, bars, come on.
Every time you set the scene, it's different, man.
I've got to inspire that greatness. Try and fight the lateness, Corey. 9:30 is an easy start.
It is.
And we take them back to the beginning when we start. My opinion means nothing. Love that. Hey, switch it up. So I switch it up, inject a bit of the hip-diddy hop, hope that my flip-diddy don't flop, you know, that's me on the beach with P. Diddy, bunning on peach, you know, I've been Diddy and now I'm trying to get bigger like a tree, I'm trying to grow from the earth and inspire the world and continue these curls, you know, that's the formation it goes, it shouldn't be hierarchical, how do you say that, fuck these pyramids, how do you say that, couldn't go back to ancient Egypt and pray for that, but we all escaped, like, where's the vapor at? Lost in the air, that's just what happens when time goes in here.
One more?
Yeah, I'm easy, man. I'm easy.
I don't mind, man.
I'm not really great at freestyling this. Like, well, no, I you know what? I could really get into it, but the mic, the camera, the recording. Once we turn that off, bro, we'll get into some ill freestyling.
Yeah. But
I don't know about you. I'm not at a mic level yet. Sometimes in the shower, man will spit 5 minutes of solid content bars. Like I'll even tell a story and fucking rhyme, and it'll be amazing. But with a mic, it's a whole other story.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I'll call this the end of the show. So, people at home, if you've got to this point, thank you very much for listening.
Safe for that.
If you've enjoyed the show, thanks you for listening. If you haven't, then more for you for sitting at home.
Yeah, if you ain't enjoyed this shit and you're still listening, you would. Something's going on there. Go and find something better to do.
No, clearly you're a diehard fan. And
No, come on. I hope you've got some diehard fans out there.
Yeah, I hope so.
There are a couple ladies sitting at home like, I love you, Corey. Like, where's the next one?
I hope so.
Come on. I bet there are, bruv. I bet there are.
What else can I say? Have you got any events to plug? This will drop on Thursday next week. So.
Yeah. The Grey Dog Festival has been rearranged to the 18th of August. Shout out to Paul Fisky, his organisation Mind Over Matter. They've got a stage where myself and Desiree and some other amazing people, I think Miss Yankees, loads of amazing people are performing there. So come down. It's somewhere in London, I think. I think it's in London. It's moved to a pub in London.
Yeah. It's
but-
not far from the Camden Eye, I think they were saying.
That's Mind Over Matter. They hold
Oh,
regular
Mind-
events.
yeah.
Shout out to them. Yeah, no, please follow me on social media and all that. Because I'm dropping stuff and like updating on my EP and my workshops. You can find me just on Instagram, Yossi Spoken Word. On all of them, it's the same name. It's just
It'll
Yossi
be on the
Spoken
website,
Word.
guys. The bio as well.
Thank you for having me, man.
Of course,
like
man.
this has been so much fun. I've so much
So glad
enjoyed
you had
this.
fun. That's good.
It's been awesome.
Only thing else I have to say is there's swag coming soon, guys. My opinion means nothing. T-shirts.
Jeez! Tell them.
I've just,
Perfect.
I've just ordered the samples. So I'm just waiting for them to come. Like I've designed the fucking tag and everything, the label and everything. So I'm just waiting for it to see what it looks like.
Come on.
But once it's looking good, then it'll be up on the website. You guys can buy that.
People aren't gonna hear this for a week, bro. How are people gonna go a week without hearing us dropping this knowledge that we've dropped tonight?
I'll drop a fucking promo. I'll drop a couple promos.
Gassed. Oh, we'll do the social media thing, man. I'm
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
I'm on
we'll
it.
do, man.
I'm on it.
Anyway, yeah. You got any other last words you want to leave with the people? Alright,
Bro, thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome, man.
Keep doing keep doing their thing, man. Be inspired. Go do something inspirational. Inspire other people. Go have fun. Let's make a change.